So,
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Mike.
And he's married this show, him. You gotta put that out there. He's married now.
He married in this show, eh?
married.
I'm married now.
My God.
Hey, yo, you know what's funny? I told the judge my name was Adrian. So that's what she was calling me in the joint.
That's what she's calling you the whole time?
Yeah, she's like, Adrian, do you think Brittany to be on? I'm like, C. You know what I'm saying? C.
Nah, deadass, you got married again, Adrian?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, he tried to suddenly flash his
She in the room with the baby.
Bub, why you made that face, yo?
But Bub, listen, Bub, you was my motivation, bro. When you said you was like, yo, you put everything into your wife so you will never do it again. I didn't do that the first time around. But this time, that's gonna be my story. Like, I'm gonna give her everything so that I will never do this thing again.
That's
so now I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm with you.
I respect it. I respect it.
That's real, man. That's real, man. What up, though? This might be risky. We here, DJ Hampton Stampede. Adrian, how you, man? Everything good?
Man, I'm good over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm good to be back. You know what I'm saying? I had a few fans hit me up, was like, yo, where was you at last week? They almost cut the show off. You know what I'm saying? So I'm here for them, yo. You know what I'm saying? They're the reason why I do this, man.
Indeed. I can dig it, man. Shout out to Adrian. He just got married again.
Facts.
I probably could have left the again out, but fuck it. It is what
it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man.
Indeed. Alex.
Hey, Hamp.
What up, though? Who here? I mean, how'd you
Listen, it's always something. It's always something.
I
on my head, it's mine.
Huh?
It's on my head, it's mine.
Mm-hmm. She paid for it.
What if you sneeze?
It ain't going nowhere. It's mine.
Oh, all right. Shout out to that. What up, Sean?
What up, y'all?
What up, Sean? Ain't shit.
Y'all ready to badmouth me and bash me today?
Yo, man, don't worry about them, Sean. Bub got your back. Bub, what's good?
Yo, man, y'all know I'm always happy to be here. Let's get it.
Indeed. Isha, fifth week in a row?
I think it's 4, but you know,
hey, okay.
Earning my little bubble.
I can dig it. Mary Berry, what's popping?
Well, what's up, everybody?
Everything
ain't
good,
shit, man.
man.
What up?
Good. Shanae was good.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
How you? Where you been at, nigga?
I've been busy. I be traveling and stuff for work. Like, I'm about to travel tomorrow. I got to pack tonight.
Where you going?
I'm busy. I got to go to Sturbridge, Mass. For Administration for Children and Families. So,
shit, I would have called out for that trip.
No, they paying me. And I love the kids, so.
Hey, him not calling out. Him work more than anybody I know. He not missing the day.
Oh man, I'm just saying, man. Sturbridge, man. Asia, what up though? 2 weeks in a row, huh? You must have made quite an impact last time you was here.
I mean, I just said what was on my mind. I was speaking truth and wisdom. You know what I do.
I can dig it. Q, what up?
Ain't shit. You sniggities know the vibes. We in a motherfucking building. You feel me? Y'all know what the fuck going on.
Put him in the fucking bed. Get him out of here.
I can dig it, man. Listen, man, like, share, subscribe. Shout out to This Might Be Risky, episode 58. We just hit over 1,000 subscribers now. You know what I'm saying? We reach all the goals to be monetized, and we have achieved that goal, man. So shout out to us. We appreciate the support. We're gonna keep giving keep giving y'all what y'all want. Shout out to Isha running the Facebook page. You know what I'm saying? We have much more engagement there. You feel me? I think a lot of y'all scary as hell because y'all don't be commenting, but a lot of y'all be reading this shit. I mean, the interactions is crazy, but y'all shaky as shit. You ain't gonna get canceled, I don't think. You know what I mean? This might be risky, man. We here. right. Listen, man, like, share, subscribe. If you're on the page right now, everybody filing in, please hit that like button for me. All right. Everybody good? Yeah.
Great.
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it, man. First topic. Share this shit. See my screen?
Yep.
But women be the main ones pushing for monogamy. And then when a bitch get in a relationship, you don't understand by asking this man to not fuck nobody else, by asking this man to not call nobody else, by asking this man to not look at another woman for none of his wants and needs as far as male to female, you are then saying, I'm going to be whatever you need me to be, nigga, because I don't want, but y'all don't understand that. Y'all just think that's how it's supposed to be because that's what the media and the movies and your man and them taught you. That's what y'all think. Y'all, like, truth be told, if up front, a bitch told you, these are all the things you're going to have to do, girl, in order to lock this nigga in like you want to, half of y'all wouldn't even want the nigga after that. But you never sit down and actually really consider, what does it take to be fucking Ray Ray's girlfriend? What does it take to be Michael's wife? Like, what type of demons do this nigga really got? What type of sex drive do he really got if he left but women be the main ones pushing for monogamy. And then when a bitch get in a relationship, you don't understand.
All right. Y'all seen this clip before?
No.
Absolutely.
What you think about it, Bub? What you think about what she's saying? Before I ask the question.
I think she keeping it 1 million. I gotta pass 100. I'm going with 1 million. She's spot on with that, and that's crazy coming from a woman.
Yeah.
Word up.
So my question is, right, and I know Q get on me about the phrasing, so you know what I mean, but it is what it is. Do modern successful women actually want what they asking for? Because what she said was 100% facts. You got to beat all those things. When I was single, I had sex every day, right? Just putting it out there, right? Because you got more options. But then you lock it down, but you still had these same wants and needs. So all those things in which she named, do women really want what they asking for? Go ahead, Mary.
So I personally believe women do want what they're asking for, but I don't think they know how to separate that between who they're dealing with is asking for. I think women don't ask enough, hey, what do you want or what you're looking for? So they don't understand, because the thing about it is everybody's perspective on what they want could be different. One dude might be okay with you cooking twice a week, where the other one expect a hot meal 5 times a week. So it's like, do you want what this man is asking for? Is this man going to be okay with what you want? So I feel like we don't ask enough what they want.
So I want to ask one of the fellas, Sean. So I know men aren't monolithic, but would you say we want a lot of the same things? Like, or are we more complicated?
Generally, yeah.
So Mary, go ahead, Sean.
No, we aren't that complex. Not to say that you could treat one man the same way you treat all of them, but no, for the basic fundamentals of what men require, you don't see a lot of diversity in that.
So Mary, what questions are you saying they need to ask? Like, we want you to cook, we want the house to be clean, we want some cheeks, but that shit like diminishes, and then women ain't prepared to give it. Why is that?
Because it's more specific in that. Like, you may be the one that want a hot cooked meal, every day, Monday through Friday at least. But then the other man may be like, hey, you could cook once a week if you give me a threesome once a month. So it's very specific in regards to what the man may be. Like, he might be all right with you not cooking that much, but hey, he doesn't want to be as monogamous as you want to be.
Wow.
Okay. I mean that.
Why does that not make sense? I'm not understanding.
I mean, because you just went fucking all the way left field.
It's not left. I'm saying it's specific to what the man wants.
I know, but look
at all.
My G,
Everybody
look,
don't want the same thing. I'm telling you.
look at your example though.
Because that's real life. That's real life.
Okay.
You didn't even ask this man if he wants to be monogamous for the rest of his life. Nowadays, that's something you gotta ask. Are you okay with being with one woman for the rest of your life?
Mary, you just said nowadays. I'm asking for her friend. No, I'm just kidding. Just fucking with you. No, it's nowadays though. But yeah, I know.
I wanted to ask, could it be how maybe we communicate? Because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes women, we don't really communicate the best way. We don't. So could it be how? And I'll be honest, because I'm a woman. I'll be honest. We don't always communicate the best way. So could it be how maybe we're communicating, what we want, and we're not asking the right questions? And maybe that's why when he's giving us a response, it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to take it as that's what he's saying, but we didn't ask the right question. So we're not really understanding. We're thinking, okay, we didn't ask him exactly what he's expecting in a wife or a partner, whatever. We're not asking it effectively. Could that be part of it? Maybe it's how we communicate.
But Miss Nay, do they even know what they want though? And I want to flip this on the head of this, because it's talking about, do women really want what they're asking for? But do men even know what they want? And a lot of men don't, and that's okay. But that has to be stated.
Men want sex.
Honestly,
Hold on. Let Asia finish that. Asia, go ahead, finish your thought.
I think a lot of men don't know what they want because they feel they have to. A lot of them put up a false bravado, and they feel that they have to act and say a certain thing. I want this, when they really don't necessarily want it, but they feel that they have to put on this facade. And so what they really, really want, they may not feel comfortable or secure within themselves or within their relationship to say what they really want, and whatever that is. And so when they don't know how to get in touch with what they really want, they can articulate. So we can ask all the right questions, but when they have the representative in place, they get the representative answer. And then when we expect that representative to continue through, that's when we have a problem. It's like, well, wait a minute. When I asked you, you said, oh, it's all good, girl. You ain't got to cook every day. I just love you. I just want to be with you. That's your representative, because you just want to make sure you're securing her and locking her down. It ain't about us locking y'all down. Y'all want to lock us down too. Let's be real.
Well, Asia, to that point, Asia, men do want to lock women down. So you're not going to get the whole truth, and women don't really want the truth, right? So even with the right question asked, if I answer it the right way and correctly and honestly, it may be something that turns you away. So am I supposed to let you go by being truthful?
Yeah. Let go. Let me go, because you better be.
Not reality though.
Come out, but the truth will come out anyway, and that's why disagreements and arguments and disagreements happen, and the relationship breaks down, because the truth, y'all ain't ready for the truth. Don't tell me what I'm ready for, and that's the problem. I can't tell you as a grown man what you're ready for, so I'm gonna give it to you what you asked. Where you ask me a question, I'm gonna answer it in the same way. Treat a woman as a grown adult like you are. Tell me what the truth is, because it's gonna come out anyway. And if you give me a lie and then the truth does come out, we're gonna have a problem.
Okay, so I disagree completely with what you're saying. I feel like men know
me or Sean?
You.
Oh,
so I feel like men know exactly what we want. The only time we possibly won't be fully honest with you is if we just trying to sleep with you. You know what I'm saying? But if we're looking at really being with you and building with you, we have no problem with articulating that. I think the issue is that men don't understand the role that we need to play once we become monogamous in order to get those things. Right now, that's a totally different thing. You can't move the same way you move when you're single, because when you're single, like Hamp was saying, you can get cheeks any day. You don't have to put in no effort. But now that you're in a monogamous relationship, if you want a woman who's going to cook for you, who's going to take care of the home, she still has a lot of other things going on. So that's going to require you playing a lot of work, or you doing a lot of different things, you being attentive to her so that she can give you what you need. And I think men don't understand that part comes with, the being in the relationship piece. So it's not that we don't want it. We just don't know, like, it's a lot of work that goes into making sure a woman is, in the place to where she wants to have sex with you. She wants to cook for you. She wants to, take care of your home.
You're very evolved, A plus. I think his name is Adrian. You're very evolved.
Right. I've been getting that all my life. I appreciate it. You know what I mean?
And but the whole monolith statement that was stated 10 minutes ago, you just dispelled that. So thank you.
I said we're not a monolith.
No, I didn't. How did I do that?
You didn't say monolith. Basically, it was the statement was men basically want the same thing, right? Did the men not just say that earlier? Men
We
basically
do,
want
though.
okay. So what I'm saying is, at the same exact time, you kind of don't, because you kind of dispelled that by saying, because someone sat there and said, I don't want to give you the truth, women. I don't want to give women the truth because you may not stay or you may not be ready for it or whatever, right? That's what.
No. But hold on.
Nah.
Right,
because
Sean is talking
in the world. He gonna tell you. You could take the lamest man in the world. If you sit this man down and ask him what he really want, he gonna tell you what he really want. It's up to you if you accept that shit or not. Dead ass.
I agree with you on that. I totally
cap. Y'all full of shit. But go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
I think there's having your wants, and then I think there's also being realistic with those wants.
See, here go Alex. See?
What you mean, Bob?
Because you talking about being realistic. If you guys ask us what we really want, how can you say it's not realistic?
I want $1 million, but the reality is that I don't have it.
That's kind of why I said is how we communicate. We're saying what we want.
Right? Going to the woman's point when she was in the video, she was saying, "Are you ready for that? Are you ready to, I feel like for men and women, are you ready to go ahead and hang your head up and be like, you know what? I'm going to be dedicated. I'm going to be focused. You may want to, but is that realistic for you and maybe your lifestyle, right? And we're not just talking about the average Joe. I think even with women, like as a wife, I would love to and I want to be able to come home and cook every day for my husband. But is that the reality? No, it's not. But I'm realistic with myself, right? So I think even in the realms of dating, and I think on both ends, are you being realistic? And when you're saying to that someone, you're saying to the individual, like, are you okay if this is what the reality is? I would love to do this for you, but here's the reality of what's really going on. Are you okay with that? Yes or no? Because then when you started off there, then you are lowering the expectations so that you're not being surprised when someone comes in here and they're giving you, the representative is giving you all of these fantasies and fairy tales about, oh, when we get together, it's going to be this and it's going to be that. Reality is that some people don't know how to be monogamous. Men and women. That's the reality of it. The reality of it is that people work, right? Men and women. It's not just the man going out, the woman staying at home. Reality is that we come home, we're tired. Do I feel like cooking you food today? Yes or no? That's on both ends. The reality is some people got kids. The reality is, and with the kids and the work and everything, you may not get sex every night. You may want to have it every night, but realistically, do you have that energy? Those are the realities of it. So I think when you are looking to be in said relationships, you have to be realistic.
Don't have kids.
No, communicate that effectively.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you communicated in the beginning, everybody's on the same page, so both parties should be compliant. If you want sex every day, you feel like kids gonna get in the middle of it, don't have kids.
But that's why I feel like on my end, you're right. Like, but that's why I feel like on my end, it's like when it comes to men, a lot of times men do say a lot of things straightforward that we like to beat around the bush about. Like a man could be like, you know what, I'm not ready for a relationship. But then a female would think, oh, just because I was fucking with him for 6 months, maybe he's ready now. And then when he's not, you're heartbroken, crushed, and crying over something that he keeps telling you. I already said that.
But hold on.
So it goes back to, do we really want what we're asking for? Because we're asking for all that, and then we're allowing that.
We're kind of feeding into the don't tell me that answer, but so it's like, hey, like, what are we? Oh, I'm not looking for a relationship right now. Okay, so do you think we'll be together at this time, or do you think that's where all the extra questions?
It's also acceptance of the response that they gave you. Don't be going in there thinking that he's gonna change his mind. He told you what it was.
Yes.
So
didn't I say that though?
You said that you want a man, and what you want in that man, and then he communicates to you, well, yeah, it ain't like that, man. You know what I'm saying? And we like, but you love me though. No. So if you want a man, then don't accept that.
Say that? Some women don't.
Can I say something?
Didn't I say that already?
Hold on, let me say something. Hold on. Let me say something, and then I'm gonna take over Hamp's spot, because after I go, I want to get Q. I want to hear Q's response to this. But I'll say this too. Asia made a point about representatives. So a lot of times when a man is like, yeah, you don't got to do all of these things every day and I'm good. A lot of times we're saying that to your representative, the you that's still being soft, the you that's still going out your way to make sure that we are good. Because then once we get in that relationship, now all of your outside stresses and things that you're dealing with, now you're bringing that on to me. Right now, you're more closed off to me. Now you're not thinking about me anymore. So those statements were true when you were moving the way you were initially moving, but now you're moving a totally different way with me. When now you're now relying on me to provide certain things for you that at that moment in time you didn't need nothing from me because you was just happy to be around me. Now you're looking for me to be a part of your happiness. You know what I'm saying? Now when you close off, you don't want to talk to me. But before, when I was making those statements of that you don't got to do anything, anytime I call you, you dropping whatever you doing for me. You know what I'm saying? So that version of you, yeah, that version of you that's gonna be sweet, that's gonna be loving to me, no matter whatever. That version of you that's trying to secure the ring, you don't have to do all of those things because you're that version. But a lot of women switch up and they're not no longer that version, and it's understandable too, right? Because now that you're once you become monogamous, you know, with someone, you try to share more with them, and just that whole piece of just growing together, like it brings a lot more. So I think it's more so that it's a different person that I'm now dealing with, or another side of you that I'm seeing now that I'm now committed to you, that I didn't see that before when we was just dating and we was just kind of kicking it, right? You didn't have those same requirements of me when you were trying to get with me, or when I was trying to get with you, that you now have on me now. You didn't trip about the things that I did then, but now you're tripping about all of those things. So I think that's why it's kind of different.
So where's the grace? Like, and
Absolutely.
Where's the grace at? Because we all know life happens on both sides of the aisle. It happens for men, happens for women. Let me get my hand away. Grace needs to be given on both sides. So, for example, I had a bad day. And as my person, as my mate, as my friend, as my lover, as my husband, whatever you should be there for me, and vice versa, right? And so it's not necessarily saying now you giving me the weight of the rope that you experienced on me. It's like, be there for each other. So give me that grace I'm gonna need. So I'm gonna give you the grace that you need. And so don't necessarily throw out the baby with the bathwater, but I have a string of incidents, right?
Though that's not the problem, Asia. See, the problem is it starts to become excuse making. Like it's always something, right? And then things almost stop and cease to exist. It's not these one-offs. We're not talking about outliers. Being tired or you had a terrible day. The norm. That's what we need to address. Because I noticed we let you flip the question totally, and we got away from the question that's scrolling. So good job. We fell for this shit. So put me in the fucking bathroom.
Get him out of here.
But what's up, Q?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to get back to the question, because what it turned into was that men are very clear on what it is that they want, and women don't actually, modern day successful women don't actually want what they are asking for. And I think that's bullshit. I think that the answer to that question is yes. I do think that modern and successful women want what they are asking for. I think, somewhat to Shanae's point, it's how it's communicated. But to just kind of throw that out there, like, and I want to say, create this narrative that sounds like men are more forward. I think that's bullshit. I think guys a lot of time and I think maybe Sean was speaking to that, like the lying and shit like that, and not being honest. I think a lot of times men don't know what they want, or actually don't want what they're asking for, and are not very clear about that. For those very reasons, I think a lot of times men function in fear. Which kind of goes to the main topic a little bit, but I think men sometimes function in fear, fear of losing a woman, fear of not actually getting a woman that they want, and so they're not, really wanting what it is that they're asking for. I think it's the other way around, but yeah, my answer to the question is Yes.
So let me ask you this. I got a question for you, Q, and it stems from that one. So if successful women want what it is that they're asking for, or modern women, are they willing to do what it takes to attain that? Or do they feel like it should just be given to them?
Well, I don't think that anybody should have to be putting in, how can I say this? I think you should be able to be who you are. And anytime that you have to change certain parts of yourself drastically in order to keep something or have it, then it's forced at that point.
So, but you don't think you have to make, if you're living a single life, you do need to make some changes if you're going to live a married life or in a relationship, no?
Changes for you or changes for them?
It would probably be both. Right? Like you can't
I think once
continue
you
to
start
do
changing for people, you fucking your life up.
Nah.
So you think, and I'm just trying to get clarity. So you feel like the person who you are with, it should be like something where it's so natural to where there's not much change that needs to happen at all in order for y'all to be together, be in a relationship, be successful.
If you're doing all of that, that to me is you're forcing something to happen with somebody.
So single you and relationship you are the exact same person?
For the most part, yeah.
Hell no.
See, not.
Let me get.
Yeah, no.
Well, all right. So as far as what?
Like you, let me get
Yeah,
Isha.
Like if you're in a I
Hold
don't
on, Mary.
understand.
Hold on. Let me.
Let everybody land, because that was a big laugh. You mean as far as like fucking random people? That's just a given. If y'all talking about simple shit like that, I'm saying personality wise.
No,
I still think with personality wise, if you're with someone, the more you know them, they're going to bring out the best parts of you and the worst parts of you. And when you see the worst parts of you, those things need to change. And that's
right.
just being a
but
relationship.
Do you change it for them or do you change it for you?
I mean, you're changing it so that the relationship can work. You're changing for each other.
But ultimately, if that relationship doesn't work from those changes, who benefits from that?
I think you both benefit from it. If
How?
you're seeing the worst part of you, because some things you don't even know, like you don't even know that these things are bad about yourself. So if this is the worst part of you, and this person is saying, "Listen, I'm not dealing with this," so now if you want to be in that relationship with them, you're going to change that for you and for them.
But in the end, who benefits the most if it doesn't work out?
Yourself. If it's a good change.
Yeah,
you do.
So you really change it for yourself.
So you're
not the same person, though. You're not the same person single. Like I can be selfish as hell single, but if I'm in a relationship, I can't be selfish.
Right.
All right. So okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, Q. If you make a positive change, and it doesn't work out with that person, that change still remains positive.
But I'm saying you still benefit from it.
Yeah.
But were you really changing it for them or for yourself?
But why would you be changing that for somebody else?
To not be selfish anymore?
Well,
that's how that works.
But that has to be a natural part of your character. There are some people who are not naturally selfish. There are some people who are natural caregivers.
Isha said they can bring out the best and the worst in you. So you can have traits that are dormant, and then you can meet somebody and they can, and you know, what's it called? Ignite that.
Expose it. Yeah, relationship.
Expose it or ignite, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So isn't that feasible?
No. You got to change that shit for you.
You never met anybody.
It's the equivalent of self-love. When you have people that be like, I love my partner this much, or I love this person more than myself. You's a fuck up. You should love you first, because if you don't love you first, you can't do shit for nobody else. If you don't pour into you, you don't take care of you, you can't do nothing for nobody else.
But that statement doesn't monopolize the conversation, though. So if you do something for the betterment of a relationship, right, and that person lets you know you have a flaw, and therefore you change it because of them, and that you benefit from said change, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
But if you start on that and that is a part of your foundation, you could easily be manipulated to doing that for so many other things.
Well, yeah, you're right, but take the goalposts off them wheels that you got it on and put it in the ground and stand somewhere.
Yeah.
Change
Nah,
I'm
we gonna all have to agree to disagree. Fuck that.
If you're single and you're talking to a bunch of other people because you might be wanting to take some people on a date. If you're single and dating, correct? When you get in a relationship, are you still going to be dating? No, because you found somebody. So are you changing that part of your single character as far as dating, talking to other women nice, doing whatever it is, to entertain the woman? You're not going to do that when you have somebody. When you're
but
in a
niggas do it all the time, Mary. That's for one. And two, no, I'm not. But I said that's a given though. That's common sense shit. That's not speaking to character.
But to be able to attract a woman, you're
that's a personal thing. That's not the
close
rule.
this one out.
That's a personal thing.
Let me say one thing here
niggas
before
still
you close.
fuck on bitches and be whole married all the time.
Hold on, wait.
We know
Hold on,
that.
wait. Because we about to, before we move on, let me say this, because I get what Q was saying in terms of don't use sex, right? But what if it's something that's not beneficial for you as you a single person? So like case in point, with me being single, I really don't have to care about nobody else's feelings. I don't have to listen to nobody. Like I don't have to do all of those things and I can still be good. But now that I'm in a relationship, I have to now slow down. I have to move at her space. I have to make sure that I communicate in a way that she can understand me, and I have to make sure that I can understand her. That's a benefit for the relationship that won't benefit me if I'm single. So you have to make certain. How would it benefit me if I'm single? If I'm already thriving in every single area that I'm at, to where I don't have to care about what nobody else says and I'm still good. There's no individual person that's not connected to my work or something like that I have to listen to you. That's going to, whether and that will have impact on me being successful or not.
But that's the thing, Adrian, is so you're saying outside of a relationship, you don't have to have tact.
It depends on what. So you have to, but it depends on what. I don't have to have tact for everything. So relationships in terms of my career, in terms of my family, yes. But in terms of me dealing with different people, I don't have to have tact. We all don't have tact with everybody who we deal with. We all brush people off. We pick and choose who we're going to give our time to. So outside of your, hold on. We pick and choose. Interpersonal relationships with family members that you maintain. So case in point.
And then we're going to end this. We're going to go to the next topic.
Respond to you. I don't respond to everybody. Do you respond to everybody? Do you listen to understand everybody who you come into account with?
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
There are specific people. So you don't maintain relationships with anybody else other than the person you're in a relationship with?
But it's only for relationships. The point is making the change for the relationships that you want, but you don't have to keep relationships with everybody. My best friends is friends that we don't have to, like me and him. When me and him, we could talk every day for a week, then I don't got to talk to him for months and we still good. In my relationship, I can't do that with my wife.
Because you're not fucking him. That's
the thing that I would have to make for her.
Common sense shit.
What do you?
That's of course you wouldn't, because you're not fucking him. Like, make it make sense.
That's the point, Q. You have to make a change, certain changes.
You
for
don't
the person
have to
you're
do
specifically
a fucking
with.
thing. You really don't, though.
If you wanted to be successful, you do. I'm sure you don't treat whoever you're with, you don't treat them the same way you treat everybody else. The same guidelines, the same respect you show her, the same grace you give her, the same way you listen to her, the same way you make sure you understand her, you don't give that to every single relationship that you're involved with. You don't do that across the board. Why don't you? And you do it across the board?
So how I treat my mom?
I didn't say, I'm not talking about your mom. Here again, you're talking about specific people.
About relationships.
Do you treat everybody, period, with the relationships, everybody, period, the same way?
Y'all stay doing this shit. There's a fucking recording of this. There's a fucking recording of this. Let's be clear. There is a recording of this.
Ham,
so when you quote me,
you need a new sound, man.
I didn't quote you with nothing. I asked you a question.
I never said every relationship. I said there are specific relationships. Did I not say that?
You said what?
Recording of it.
You
so
said
let's
what?
be very clear.
No, you said we make changes in relationships that benefit us first. And what my thing was, not with everybody. The relationship that I make with the relationship that I make, what I'm saying is the relationships that I make with the person that I am with, married to, in a relationship is totally different than anybody else.
Then that's on you. That's some personal shit.
That's the majority of people though. But you the one outlier, yo. You the one
And I
outlier.
love it. I love it here.
I love it too. That's
Feminists probably have no idea how some of us in the rest of the world look at the craziness going on in the West. And I'm sure they don't care. But I'd really like to know, is it boredom, entitlement, or just plain insanity that's causing you to wage war on half of your population? And then crying about, where have all the good men gone? Well, I tell you where they've gone and where they're going. To Asia and other friendly places around the world. Places that know a decent man when they see one. Places that you blue hairs wouldn't last a day in because we don't cater to your every whim and fancy. And I can promise you, we Asian women are happy to have your men and offer them everything they've been looking for. But it's interesting that your reaction is to attack the men who are leaving and tell them that they're losers who aren't good enough to get a woman in the West. Yep, once again, it's the man's fault. And you attack us Asian women too. You call us poor, uneducated, submissive, desperate women who are happy with your table scraps and rejects. But if you truly believe we were getting your leftovers, the men you don't want anyway, then why do you sound so angry and defensive about it? And try to shame men for finding happiness here? Wouldn't you be thanking us for taking out your trash? And as for us Filipino women being uneducated, we have the same percentage of college graduates that you do, and what you call submissive is what we call being agreeable. Do I look uneducated, submissive, and desperate to you? Well, guess what? There are millions more like me over here, just waiting to have a shot at making your men happy. You also call us gold diggers and claim that we only want green cards to escape to the.
Y'all heard of y'all heard of Filipino P.
You try. You try.
Yo, I never seen that before. Yo, that's hilarious.
Oh, that's Filipino P, man. Men are going. Men are going to Asia. Men are going to. Our used to be the hot spot. Men are going to Colombia. There's a acronym that stands for Save Yourself, Black Man. Because those women are, like she said, agreeable and willing to listen and give and all that jazz, right? So this is a real thing. The passport boys is a real, because they seem to be sick of the B. He said, don't you think we get tired? Remember, B? We get tired, remember? I sound just like the nigga. Shout out to me. You know what I mean? So, like, are Western women causing their own issues with men?
Do you really think this is a real question for us? Like, this is such gaslighting. You're trying it. So, first of all, I don't believe the propaganda that she is spewing in this ad for geisha girls and mail order brides.
Let me ask you a question. Do you have a problem with the word submission?
No, I don't. Absolutely not. And I've always said this. I have no problem submitting to my man who knows how to be my man, who knows how to lead me and lead the household. And my issue that I have with this whole propaganda video that this woman did is, if y'all, and I say y'all, Western men, not just y'all here, if you all don't want a partner, then go ahead and go over there with her then. Because she's talking about, I didn't hear a partnership. I didn't hear her helping you grow. Yeah, you may have to, as I think Ham said last week, you talk too much. But what I'm saying to you, I'm feeding you. I'm giving you water. I'm giving you life with my words.
That's the problem.
I'm going to shut up and not speak anything.
That's the problem.
And that's why a lot of men are not evolved, because they sitting there eating junk food. And I mean junk food in their soul, with what they listen to and what they participate in and who they're with. If you want a nutritious soul food, then you need to get with one of us. I'm gonna say us, Black women.
Okay, can I say something?
Of course
do you
can.
think that? Do you
all y'all
think
ain't built
that?
the same.
You're
Do
right.
you think
You're right.
that?
Black girl magic. You're right. All women don't have this.
Oh my
We are
God.
magical beings. Wait a minute, Bub. Okay. Bub just sat there and said it. Now it's oh my God. When I sat there and responded to him, go ahead,
No,
him. You got it.
no. I said he said everybody not the same. That's a fact. And you talking about black girl mad? That's propaganda if I ever heard it. But question: do you think we motivated by you guys?
You should be.
Why?
If you'd let me keep talking, I'd have told
And I
you.
am more in competition, but go ahead.
Do you think we're motivated by you guys?
You have to want to be, and I think the desire has to be there
It's a yes
first.
or no. You think we should be?
Yes.
What do you
You
think
should
so,
be.
Mary?
Yes, we should be able
Let me
to
just go
motivate.
around and then y'all can expound. You think so, Isha? You think a man should be motivated by you? What you think,
Absolutely.
Alex?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Q.
What you broke up?
You think a man should be motivated by his woman?
I think motivation can lead to competition.
Okay. Adrian, you think a man should be motivated by his woman?
So you about to get me for being on the fence. So I feel like, yeah, but not by nothing she does. If
Okay,
that makes
Alex.
sense.
Okay, Alex.
No,
Hey,
I'm just saying.
Tell him yes or
Sean,
no.
Goes back
Yes
to
or
the
no.
topic. It's
yes or no,
intimidation.
man. Yo, Sean, you think a man should be motivated by his woman?
No.
Bub, you think a man should be motivated? Why? You think a man should be motivated by his woman?
No.
Yeah. So the right answer is no. The reason is a man should be motivated already. If you meet a man and you have to motivate him, he already 3 or 4 steps behind. Motivation and inspiration are two different things. You can get inspiration from your woman, but I'm already motivated. I've been getting it just like I've been getting it before I met my wife. Point blank, period. I don't need nobody to motivate me. I wake up like this, right? So I think y'all don't understand the concept well. Inspiration is one thing. I'm inspired by my children, by my wife, but no, I'm already motivated.
I
So
feel like, yeah, go ahead.
so the reason why I say like motivated, and maybe it is inspiration, but not based on what she does, right? So like just by her being, it makes me want to go harder when I'm tired and I want to
That's
make sure she's
inspiration.
good. So if that's inspiration, then I'm with you. I ain't look at the
Let me ask you a question. Would have you what made you get all those degrees and go from company to company, then start your own, then start doing the psychiatrist and all that and doing the therapy before you
Oh yeah,
met her?
so that's me.
I know.
Yeah, so that's all me. That's all me. But when I look at like the now piece though, like the now my push, because if I'm honest, I have gotten stagnant too. You know, once you reach a certain point, yeah, you still have goals. My
Shout
motivation
out
is
to
not
motherfucking
always
Mike Brown.
as, huh?
Shout out
What'd
to
you say, Q?
motherfucking Mike Brown.
Hey y'all, that's our first super chat ever, man.
Oh, thanks, Mike.
Mike.
Word.
Bike and pride.
ECSU. But yeah, I think like now, like it's different. You know what I'm saying? So where now it's like, okay, I got her here, this woman who just loves me unconditionally. So it's not from a she has to do nothing at all besides just be. Now I'm like everything that I've been procrastinating on lately, I have to conquer it now. You know what I'm saying? I have to make sure she's good. But I don't think she feels like she has to intentionally do anything. And I think that's where women feel like they have to do something. So they're like, hey, you should be with me because I can inspire you. You should inspire us by just being. You don't have to, we don't look to y'all to motivate us, to encourage us, and baby, you can do it. And that doesn't mean nothing to us.
I think that's BS.
Yeah.
I think a man can come already motivated, but life have this ebbs and flows. So what if this man goes through a period where he's depressed and
Thank
he
you,
has this
Isha.
woman? She's not going to sit here and let him sit there and be depressed. She's going to motivate him to get back to where he was.
No,
Exactly.
it does, but that does. So y'all think that's
He
effective?
gotta
That
want that
doesn't.
shit for
That doesn't
himself.
hold no
It
weight
is.
with
Do you
us.
want her to sit there and just look at you like a lump on a log? No, she's gonna push you like, baby, you can do it.
Hold on a second. Y'all fucking the quality up. All right, stop talking at the same time. Let somebody finish just for a second. So Isha finish, then Bub, you jump in, then we'll come back to Nay, then Adrian. Can finish what he was trying to say.
I think I finished. Like, a man can come into a relationship motivated, but shit happens. Depression happens. Job loss happens. A woman, she is a good woman, is going to encourage and motivate you to get a better job, to get back where you need to be. Even like you, Adrian, even with taking your exam and passing your exam, a woman can motivate you to do that, to study more.
Bub.
Yo, you gotta want that shit for yourself, man. You gotta want not to fail yourself. You gotta want more out of yourself. A woman could talk till she blue in the face to you, but if you don't want that shit yourself, ain't nothing gonna get you to the point to where you actually want to be. And that's a spade.
More.
So I want to go ahead. Go ahead.
But to me, it's just like kind of what a couple of others said. It's like you can have your own self motivation for you. But like, say if you like, damn, I want to take the day off. But then you be like, I need a little extra money for my wife, for my kids, and my family. That's gonna motivate you to go ahead and get up that extra time. Not saying that you're a complete bum, but having a family at home is gonna always, make you want to apply more pressure. It's gonna motivate you more to be like, you know what, let me not miss no days. You get what I'm saying? So there always is that little bit of motivation, even if you already do have it for yourself. Like, I understand, like, if you ain't got the motivation, you just ain't gonna have it. But I'm saying when you do have that motivation, a woman can definitely motivate you a little bit more to want to do just a little bit more.
Okay. Go ahead, Nate.
My turn.
I was gonna say I agree with Isha and Mary Berry, because when you have that motivation, it's like that woman is standing by you, like, no, especially if you have like a woman that's like, let's say you want her to stay at home, you don't want her to do much, just take care of the kids. She's that right there alone is gonna motivate you to say, I gotta do what I gotta do, because she's looking at you like, babe, we gotta do this together. Like, she's pushing you. Even if you have it already in you, there's something in you. It's like, no, I got to do this for my family at the end of the day. So it doesn't matter. I think that the woman overall is going to motivate. You could be inspired by what she does, yeah, but there's a difference. You're motivated by her. She's encouraging you. She's pushing you to say, babe, we got to do this for the family. We got to do this for the kids. Team us. So she's pushing you to do that. And sometimes you might want to give up. You're like, I want to give up so bad. But your wife is standing there right by you like, no, babe, you can't give up. And you're like, you know what? Because I'm looking at my baby right here. I'm looking at these kids. I'm not going to give up because you're pushing me to do it, even though I want to give up.
So go ahead. Let me get Sean. Yo, you good, Nate?
Yeah, I'm good.
Let me get Sean real quick. Then we can go back to A and hit Alex. What's up, Sean?
I don't think your woman should be motivation for you, or that she can be. I think motivation is temporary anyway. I don't think anything that you do that motivates you, is, like Isha said, is ebbs and flows with every person in their own internal battles and struggles and all that. But if motivation is what gets you out of bed in the morning, discipline should be the thing to get you out of bed, not motivation. So if you're asking if a woman can provide motivation for you, if she can spark something in you, is it a possibility? Of course. She can rub your feet the right way. You might want to get up and go walking if she rub your feet. Is that motivation to walk? Well, I mean, is it a thing? Is it a possibility? Sure. But a man should be predisposed to have a certain discipline about himself. So all the things that y'all are talking about, getting up, and if he gets in the funk and he's depressed, discipline needs to get him out of that, not motivation, because motivation is temporary. Everybody wants to get on a diet and lose 20 pounds, and they'll go to the gym that first day, they motivated, but they don't stay in the gym for that reason. It's discipline. So can a woman be your discipline? I don't think so. Can she be your motivation? Sure. She can spark something in you to get you off the couch. It happens in multiple ways. She could talk shit. She could motivate you in a negative way. Is that what we're looking for? Probably not. So I don't think men should be looking to women for motivation.
Or Alex.
I think with Sean's point, the motivation and the discipline. I think the motivation is what's going to get you disciplined, just in things in general. I think when you talked about like losing weight, it's the motivation of wanting to be healthier and to look better and to feel better that's going to get me into or want to get me into the place and the routine of having some type of discipline. To Bub's point, we keep saying the word should and want, right? Your wife shouldn't, you should want to get up and do this because that's what you're supposed to do, right? But that's in theory. And I keep saying like we have to be realistic, right? The reality is that there are moments, there's a lot of things that we should do, but we don't. And sometimes you do need that extra push. Sometimes you do need your significant other, your partner, whatever it is, to motivate you. And many people's motivation is listen, you gotta rent is due, you got to pay this bill, you got to pay that bill, your kids are looking at you, your woman is looking at you, whatever the case is, those are all tools to get you to go ahead. And we keep saying should, but the reality is that there is a motivation that's going to go ahead and that's going to get you up to do what you need to do. Sometimes you need the extra push. Sometimes discipline isn't enough. Sometimes, and even if you do get up to go and do something, you are just going through the motion, right? But what's giving you that extra push to do your best? That's where the motivation piece comes in. And I think that's sometimes where your partner comes in. So not only are you just doing it to do it, but you're doing it and you're excelling in it. You are doing your best. You are putting your best foot forward.
What do you think, Q?
Like I said, I think motivation leads to competition. And what I mean by that is I think when you have somebody that you're in a relationship with, if they're motivating you, 9 times, especially a woman, 9 times out of 10, she's probably naturally motivated herself. So now she's pouring into you. And in that, it could lead to, I think, the guy get into a place where he feels superior. And then in that, sees her as competition because, again, she's naturally motivated. So now with her pouring into him, he's feeling like, okay, the level that you're at, I'm now at that level. So I think it could lead to things that are not good.
Okay. Adrian, I know you've been chomping at the bit.
I've been chomping. Yeah, let me get the full screen, bro. Let me get the full screen, bro. Let me get the full screen, man. Listen, for all y'all ladies who feel like I can be with a man because I can motivate him and I can push him, that has so little value. It has so, hear me, I work with men, I work with couples. Y'all think, oh, I can push him to the, that really doesn't work. That's why I said y'all can do it, but it's not based off of nothing that you do. So while it automatically will bring motivation to most men, the fact that I have a wife, the fact that I have a family, that's not contingent upon anything you're actually doing or saying, though. You see what I'm saying? So in that way, that's the piece that will probably motivate us or give us that push. Y'all words and you got, that really doesn't mean much to most men. And that's why what Sean has said, I love what Sean said, like it takes a man to be disciplined. Discipline supersedes everything. So it's not in what y'all do. So if y'all feel like, yeah, I can motivate a man, I can push a man, you can, but that's by you just being your true, like authentic self. It's not in your words, right? You don't have this special gift that's going to ignite something. If anything, is going to cause something in him. Like Q was saying, I don't know if it necessarily will lead to competition, but it doesn't work. You'll be better off staying out my way. Right? You'll be better off not making things as difficult. You'll be better off picking and choosing your battles. But by you just being like your true, authentic self, that is what's going to motivate us, because we get to see like the best parts of you. You know what I'm saying? So it's more so like you don't have to add to it. Just don't take away from what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Don't come at me with attitudes. Just show me love. Just do what you are naturally supposed to do. That's all you have to do. We don't need the words. I'm telling y'all, men don't need the words. And baby, it don't change nothing. When I was at my lowest points, the words don't change nothing. If I didn't want it for myself, it don't matter. So that piece that y'all are y'all always want to throw in there, I can motivate him, I can push him. Oh, if he got me, he gonna reach new heights. That's not true. It's not true. It's not. Don't put a lot of stock in that, yo.
So you want her to just be mute and just love and hug up on you and just show you affection and give you coochie all the time and that's it?
Yes, and I will go.
Also, just so you could just be a fuck up and she just like, you know, baby, you know what? It's all right, baby.
No. So you're not hearing me. You're not hearing me. You're not hearing me, right? And so what I'm telling you is, if you just be who you were designed to be, beautiful, smart, feminine, making sure like I'm good and just showing me love. Now I want to protect that without you telling me to protect it. I got to make sure you good. You see what I'm saying? I got to stay up to 3
You
in the
don't want
morning
to pour into you.
Huh?
But she's not pouring. She can't pour into you. You don't want her to say certain things to you.
I don't need you to pour into me.
Pouring into someone does not always
most men don't need you to pour into them. And that's the thing. Like, y'all think, oh, we got to pour into y'all. Like, we not babies, Joe.
So Adrian, to your point, just for what you just said at the end, that we're not babies. I think it gets counterproductive when women feel like they have to pour into a man, because we heard that from our moms. Like, we've been hearing that our whole life. We don't get off the couch, get up and do this, get motivated. Like, even though you may say it differently than what mothers have said it, that's how it sounds.
Like nagging.
Yeah, that's how it sounds. Even if you believe you're being positive, and I believe that a lot of women think that they are, but you know, that goes to the point of communication. But a lot of women think that they are being positive and they're pouring life and energy and positivity and all that. But in man's ears, it doesn't sound like that. It doesn't sound like that.
So just sit back and just let you do your thing.
No, pouring does not have to be vocal. It does not. Again, that goes back to me stating, you gotta ask your man what he wants. You gotta ask him, you know, how he prefers, what makes him feel loved. Like, which brings it back to the 5 love languages. Like, if you're pouring vocally into somebody that can't hear you because they're so focused on trying to get right with themselves, it's never gonna work. If you might want to give him a whole scripture and he just want to have a sandwich made for himself. 2 different things. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? But he's going to feel more loved because he wanted that sandwich, not because you felt like you needed to give him a scripture.
Okay.
What's up, Asia?
Gotta teach, Mary.
What's up, Asia?
So back, what's it, 10 minutes ago now? The original question was, can women motivate men? And we all answered, except for the men, I think. He said yes. So the answer is yes. We can motivate you, but it's how we motivate. So the answer is yes, we can. Women can motivate men, and which was my original statement as well. It doesn't just have to be talking to, but just like I said before too, being who I am, literally being who I am is the motivation. And it's not a lording over, it is not a hierarchical thing. It is what you need me to be in that moment. I am that because of my being, the essence of who I am. That's all I was trying to say earlier. I'm done.
I think they equated that to inspiration instead of motivation, though.
Yeah, and Ham did that erroneously too, because that is motivation.
Yeah, woman can't tell me shit, let alone make me go do some shit.
Well, no, we already said no. We've come full circle and said not necessarily what we
crazy
say,
as hell.
Okay, but it's what we do. We already came full circle in saying that.
And that's the thing, y'all don't
being who we are.
When I play the Filipina thing, that shit is funny, right? But y'all don't create the space, right? The it's not easy with Western women, right? Men feel like pressure, right? It's not as seamless. Western women aren't as submissive. You guys fight against that. Not saying you guys specifically, but as a whole, right? Women want to do what men do here, right? And so to Q's point, that competitive nature comes out in relationships, and it's not a super comfortable environment. And our home is not always peace for us.
I agree. So then, whose fault is that, though? Like, is it society's fault? Like, if it's a Western woman thing, right? Whose fault is that? Like, who is to blame for that? Who is responsible for that? Because if it's something that society is making, then how is that supposed to be fixed? Is the solution that the men are then going over to Asia and they're recruiting these women?
It don't even gotta be that. It's a cultural thing.
Right, that's what I'm asking. Like, so who's fault? So who's responsible for it?
It's men's fault. It's men's
I
fault.
feel like men gonna accept what they want to accept, but overall the cultures are just different. He don't even have to go to Asia. He can get an Asian over here. I know a lot of submissive Black women. Like, you know what I'm saying, for the wrong man and for the right man. You can find it anywhere, but it's a lot of times it does boil down to the culture. We are Black people ultimately. I'm gonna include myself as well. We are Black. You know what I'm saying? And our culture is kind of, you know, the women have become less submissive. I know Spanish women that will kiss your feet, and I know some that will not.
Exactly. We don't play the sum game here.
Right. So then is culture to blame then?
Women gotta fall back and let us lead by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? Don't take this the wrong way, but it can't be two penises in the house. I'm gonna say that one more time.
So then another question:
two penises in the house.
Don't be a bum, and we can work something out.
So then why do y'all
lead effectively?
Let y'all lead then? Like, why is the perception that like there's something that causes it, but like we never talk about the what? Like, what is it that causes it?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, if a woman get with a bum, that's your own fault. You know you getting with a bum, and you know you getting with a sucker. Let's keep it funky. You know what you getting with,
and you know when you getting with a hoe.
Huh?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But going even further than that, how do you?
Can the man? He was building on something. Can he finish?
Go ahead, bud. My bad.
Man, if this ain't the greatest example in the world, boy. God almighty. Like y'all talking this shit.
I'm just trying to understand. I'm sorry.
But the conduct is
it's a cultural thing, Hemp. We gotta be vocal.
I told you the culture.
Go ahead, Bub. And maybe the ladies will let you finish, but I don't fucking know.
Hey, Mary, I ain't gonna be long. I'm quick.
All right, go ahead.
So Q brought it up. And she said, it creates competition in the crib. And I agree. Men, we don't want that competition. Like I said, women, just let us take the lead. Let us do what the fuck we're gonna do for everybody, for the family. Fall in line. You know what I'm saying? We got away from that. I don't know when that shit started, but we definitely got away from that. You look at your great-great-grandmother or your grandmother and you see how they treat their husbands. Yo, y'all got to get back to that, man. Y'all, and some of y'all foul. Y'all look at your great-grandmothers or your grandmothers and be like, grandma was wild. I would never do that shit. No, y'all wilding. Y'all better get back to that. I'm telling you.
But we don't know what Granny went through with Pawpaw, so she probably went through like hell and high water. We like, nah, I'm not taking that anymore.
We know, right?
I want to know how do you lead?
We only know what we know.
I want to know, when you sit there and say, let us lead, could you define? I think that's what Alice was trying to get to. I think, I'm sorry if you weren't, if I'm just putting words in your mouth, but I thought she's trying to get to define how you want to lead. Define how you say you can't lead. Please explore that statement.
Yes,
Not just sit there and throw it out and keep it pushing.
Why do you, what is hindering you from leading? Like what is stopping you?
We talk too much.
You want me to expunge on it?
No, I'm being dead serious, because we always talk about it, but we never say what is the solution? We can talk about it all day, but asking as a man, because you all are so very simple, supposedly. So what is it?
What's the solution? I said it. Fall in line.
No, I'm asking. No, okay, I'm sorry. What are you thinking? How do you lead? How do you lead your family? How do you lead your household? Is what I'm asking.
Gotcha.
The part is, wait, can I get my question out there? Y'all talking too much, right? Can I get my question out? How do you lead? How do you want to lead? And what are you saying are the symptoms that makes you think you can't lead? That's all I want to know. I think it's very esoteric. I want to get concrete answers, please.
Absolutely. So how should a man lead? Number one, I think a man should lead based off of Number one, I think a man should lead. It should be based off of service. right? So one, being able to assess the needs of the people that you are leading. You know what I'm saying? I think that's number one. Two, a man needs to be able to be confident in himself and in his decision making and be able to be responsible, right? So knowing that, okay, if I'm gonna have to provide for y'all, it's all on me. I think that what makes it difficult, and I think Hemp said it too, like it's our fault for being in this situation. So I don't think the answer is simply women fall in line, because y'all have been hurt so much by us. How it's dumb for us to expect that to even be possible. So since men are the one who caused it, we have to provide a space for women to heal. And I don't think we do that very well. You know what I'm saying? I feel like asking a woman who has been manipulated, taken advantage of by men who say all of the right things, but then don't do them. Right? Yeah, baby girl, I love you, but all we really want is the cheeks. You know what I'm saying? So when you have all of these women who have been so abused,
Adrian, that's not exclusive to the question, though. Right? So
it is.
that manipulation is not what causes our women to be out of order. In the Western world, we have given women all the opportunity, right? We have there's systematic things that oppress black men specifically that put women in charge, right? There's things from the history in the past that put us under our women. It ain't about Bill Bellamy and how to be a player. That's not the reason why our women act as such in totality.
But I think it's I think it plays a huge part of it. Like, I get everything that has happened to put them above us, but the majority, like, think about it from this perspective, right? 1 in 3 women are sexually assaulted. 1 in 3 girls, like, growing up. So that's a third of the people who, outside of everything else that has happened, who has been taken advantage of by a man. So that's off rip, 1/3 of them. 1/3. That doesn't even take into account the lying. Like, I don't took down hundreds of them lying. You know what I'm saying? And then when you look at everything else, so I'm just saying we got to control the things that we can control. And I think it's too much point in saying y'all just got to do this, y'all just got to do that. I feel like women are at a point now where they're receptive.
You saying that because they've been taken advantage of sexually, that they don't trust us to lead?
Absolutely. Because
you think that
is, and because they've been taught it.
You think that is the
like it's so much trauma, bro?
Men have difficulty leading women who believe that they should be partners. There is no leadership with a partner.
Are you kidding me, Sean?
My thing is, why don't we want to be partners, though?
Because they grew up thinking that independence was the route to success.
Yes,
yeah, partnerships in businesses. What are you talking about?
Yeah, business. That's not in the house.
My God, Sean said it best before. Sean, go ahead, Sean.
I just find it difficult to believe that somebody who is seeking a partner is also seeking to be led and be submissive. That I don't think those qualities mix. I think I think you have to be an Asia. Maybe you are the evolved. You are the next evolution, right? Maybe that's the case, but in my experience, that hasn't been accurate.
So what I'm saying is, let me
a partnership, but is also willing to be submissively led.
Let me be the absolute. Is what I'm saying. Like I can be submissive, right? We can be partners, but I can still be led. But let me be the strength and where you're weak. And where you're weak, or vice versa, right? When you're weak, I'm strong in those areas. Like, we have to acknowledge that is the best way for us to move forward as a unit, right? A unit can't be the strongest link, and that's it. And then the weakest link over here because you're not allowing me to be a partner with you.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that, Asia, because we have no historical evidence where that's been successful.
Being partners, men and women being partners, you haven't seen that being historical evidence in that?
No.
You haven't read your history books? Okay, so let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Go ahead, school me.
There are plenty of instances in which women and men have been partners. Back in Africa, I forgot. I know I'm gonna get roasted for this one. In there, y'all know what I'm about to say, right? So back in Africa, there were warrior women that protected the kingdom, right?
Come on.
The men,
What?
Bub left. But Bub didn't like that.
Is this going to tie into relationships, like modern day relationships somehow?
I'm giving you, you asked for history lesson, child, and I'm trying to give it to you.
I understand history.
Say don't interrupt.
I'm just I wanted to tie into modern day relationships.
Women can't finish this episode. Men have to be able to finish this episode.
Man, what are you? You're not talking about the tribe from that movie, right?
No, I'm not. No, are you?
I just want to tie it into modern day relationships. Just help me out. Educate me.
No, you're saying there's no history of that work, and I'm telling you there was history of that work.
Are you talking about the Woman King tribe?
No, that was beyond that. They weren't the only.
Stop interrupting Asia. I want Asia to educate me on this, please.
Yeah, because she's doing a bad job. Go ahead, Asia.
I mean, if I can get interrupted every 30 seconds, of course I can get my point out. No, we'll find it. So I'm laughing at the comments. Y'all are crazy. What I'm saying is there is partnerships. In my original statement, Nay had said it, was even in business, the most successful businesses have a good partnership. There's a visionary and there's an executor, right?
Wait a minute. I gotta quote Q, but they not fucking each other in business.
But they can't, but
sometimes they do. But go ahead.
That's not what's happening.
What is wrong with running a family as a business? Seriously,
because a business is you can run a business as a corporation. That's not the home. That's not house.
The point is, it's a unit. They have their role. The other person has their role, and that's in business as well. There's no
organizational structure. But go ahead.
What?
Organizational structure. There's a CEO. You have a CFO. You have a COO. Then you have your board of trustees. That's what you have. It's an organizational structure.
Wait. Are they equal? Oh, let's use the structure that
they're not. No, they're not equal. But there's still a partnership. So the CEO is the head. Then you have a CFO.
So what happens when they have to make a decision?
The CEO usually makes a decision, but he also goes to his board of trustees. He reports to them.
Are you saying he doesn't report to them? It's the CEO. Unless you're talking about a board of trustees that are investors, but that's a totally different structure. But so just stick to something more layman so people can understand. If you have a CEO, COO, CFO, what happens if they're in a debate and they can't come to a conclusion? Who makes a decision?
Well, it depends on the roles and responsibilities.
Good God Almighty! If it's a CEO, a CFO, and a COO, what happens if they need to make a decision?
The one where money makes a decision. Just like if a man can't lead or protect.
All right, Isha. Before you go off the rails, like I know you want to, somebody please on the bottom row just answer what I'm asking in the hypothetical.
Yes, Hamp, to that point, that's why I said Sean was speaking in absolutes. I get exactly where you're going. And so what Miss Nay, I think, is saying is truth to that as well. There's a hierarchy, right?
There's a hierarchy, yes.
Yes. Guess
what? In the hierarchy, the COO and the CEO aren't, they're not partners, in a hierarchical structure.
Listen, my nigga, they are. What you're speaking to, what I'm hearing you guys are speaking to is equality. You're saying the same.
No. You don't have to define it, Q, with some shit you've been thinking about. Just answer the question that I'm asking. Okay. So if there's a CEO and a COO and a CFO and they are having an issue, the CEO has the responsibility and authority to make the decision. So are we saying that women are looking for? Oh my God, we understand, right? But you have to keep these niggas is nuts.
Yeah, what are you saying? We saying the same
what I'm
shit.
saying is,
you just want to sound
because y'all not answering. You about to do some spin shit like you try to do, but we run it back.
The CEO was the CEO.
You're trying so hard to make a strong point.
So at that point, do you guys agree that the CEO has the authority to move forward if they can't come to an agreement?
Yes, the CEO does not. That's
this simple hypothetical. So now, are women saying that they would agree to this type of construct?
There is women that
they're saying they're submissive to that kind of construct.
Absolutely.
But you guys are speaking of absolutes, making it seem like they're looking to be like you want to be the same thing. No, nobody has said that this whole time. It was Sean who spoke in absolutes as making partnerships seem like it's like we're doing the same thing and having the same roles.
It's different roles and responsibilities.
Which every woman that I've heard speak on that spoke to that hierarchy and spoke to being submissive.
But they weren't
listening. So I'm like, you're trying to make that point. You're making the same fucking point. You're just not listening.
They're not listening.
Every partnership is not 50-50.
I don't believe it. That's why.
Not my problem.
Because you're thinking of it in a different way.
Why don't you believe it?
Like we said before, what do you guys see as submissive?
Go ahead, Alex. What were you saying?
They got silent. They don't know. They got silent.
I mean, just going back to the question that I was asking, Bub says you fall back, you fall in line, you do what I tell you to do. Sean, how do you then? If I
wait, hold on, Alex, hold on. I ain't say that shit. I didn't say do what I tell you to do.
So you fall back, you fall back, you fall in line.
That's what fall in line is.
That's what I heard.
Bub, don't play with me. You know what you said, and I know what you said. Don't do that.
This shit recorded.
They do something different than what you said. They out of line.
Answer, Sean. What is your answer?
Yeah. You got to ask the question again, Alex.
The question was, if giving me an example, if I am in the lead currently, right? How do you come in and how do you then remove me from the lead role? How do you lead me? What would be the template for if we had a family, how would you lead? So that I don't have to.
Well, I would say everybody's dynamic is different. In my history and my experience in relationships, I don't have to dethrone you to be the leader. I walk in the room with a presence. I carry myself with confidence. There's no, it's okay, cool. We go with my decision.
But there's only one CEO. Like him. So there's only one CEO. So it's me or you. The whole corporation.
That's what I just said. That's what I just said.
No, okay, so Hemp answer the question. Then you answer the question.
This has actually been happening when guys been answering. They laughing, they're not listening. Right? It's not funny.
You're projecting.
Men have no. I'm just looking at you laughing. They fell back on her chair when Sean said he had a presence. Yeah, I'm not projecting. What are you talking about? I'm looking.
So then, Hemp, how do you take back control?
So you don't have to take back control. We already understand it, right? Or else I'm not with that woman. The key is women got to stop thinking that they are what they are not. I don't need you to put a battery in my back, right? I need you to do the things. Go ahead, Alan. The question. Go ahead.
Sorry, Hemp. I was
okay.
saying in conclusion, my point is that we keep saying that you all want to be in the lead because women are currently in the lead. But when I am asking every one of you the question, everyone is saying a different answer. So how can we collectively as a whole get back into position and get back into place?
Alex, there are several things that can be done, though, that need to be done. It's not going to be one watch this. The interruptions, the dismissive nature of all the answers are showing the issue, right? You can talk, you can say that you're listening, right? But it depends on how you're listening. Everybody on the bottom row, with the exception of Q and a little bit of Isha, is listening to refute, or they think it's funny. But these are real answers that need to be acknowledged or not. And you'll stay in the same place that you're in. Because we are not successful with this type of attitude and with this type of energy as a whole in our culture. The reason why I wanted to ask that question is because if women think that they are men's motivation and you got to push us to do certain, we don't need that. The men that are supposed to be in charge and lead, we don't need that from you, right? We just don't. But it's hard for y'all to consume this information. I'm trying to understand why.
Facts.
Go ahead, Alex.
You can't say facts because you just said we add to it. Like
no. Hold on. But what I said was it's not by nothing that you do. Hold on. I said it's not by nothing that you do.
I heard you.
That's two different. But you didn't, because Hemp just said I don't need you to motivate me. Hemp is talking about I don't need you to hype me up and tell me you believe in me, which is the same thing I said. I said you just beat. That's what Hemp is saying. I
Him
don't
said,
need
I
you
do not
to
need you to
encourage me.
motivate me.
I don't need you to
Period.
motivate me. I
Period.
need you to be you. What Hamp is saying is, I need
Hemp
you to
didn't say
be
all that.
you.
You said
He
that. Not
just said I don't. Oh my
Hemp
goodness.
said, I do not need you to motivate me, period. That's it. That's
Right,
it.
because when y'all are talking about motivation, y'all are talking about I can inspire you, I can
But
push
he
you.
didn't
And what I was
include the
saying was
part.
y'all motivate us by not doing nothing. We don't need that.
But Hemp said
We
he
don't
don't need
need this.
motivation from a woman, period. There's two different things.
I
Hey,
did.
come on now. That's two different things.
Hold on.
Hemp is saying
I didn't.
he
Hold
don't need it
on.
from a
I
woman,
didn't.
period.
Hold on.
You
But this
said,
is
hold
another thing.
on.
You're not.
You
You're
said
not
that you
listening.
did.
Here you
You're
go. You're not listening,
You're
Mary.
not listening.
Mary, let's put your penis
You're not
away. You're
listening.
not listening right now. Let's put your penis
Go
away
ahead.
for 1
Go
second.
ahead.
1 second.
Go ahead.
And hear me out. Because what I was saying now, Hemp said
Go
that
ahead.
he doesn't need. Thank you. Hemp was saying that he doesn't need a woman to motivate. I never said I need a woman to motivate. I never said I need it. I said you can. Hold on, because you about to talk again, but you did good. Good job. I'm proud of you.
I wasn't. Go ahead.
I know you did good. You did good. Hemp said he doesn't need a woman to motivate. I never said I need a woman to motivate. I said a woman can push you, but it's not by her doing anything besides being who she's supposed to be. It's not by you telling me, hey, you can do it. Or I told him, give me the screen. It's not by trying to pump me up. It's by you being feminine. It's by you being loving. And I know I have something that I have to take care of. It's not by nothing that you do. And it's not a need for me, but it can be an additional push. It can be an additional, damn, I'm tired. But you see who I got there laying next to me? Nah, let me go get it. It's not by nothing that you do. And it's not a need. I never said it was a need.
Bruh's in here, baby.
Okay, so can I go? So can I go?
You got it.
I didn't.
Nah,
I
you
didn't
can't.
say.
Hey, Tupac.
Hold on,
let me get in here, Tupac. I just got in here. Shit.
Hold on.
I ain't got shit to say. Go ahead, Mary.
So
ahead, Mary.
what I got from Hemp is Hemp saying he don't need any of that. That's what I got from Hemp. Hemp saying he don't get any of his motivation from anyone else but himself. That's what I heard from him. What I heard from you is exactly the same thing that you just said again. That's why I said you guys are saying two completely different things, because Hemp stated he does not get motivation from anyone but himself. He didn't mention anything about, oh, a woman's presence give me motivation, a woman just being there gives me. Hemp said, I don't get any motivation from a woman, period. That's why I say y'all are saying two different things.
But Mary, if you was listening, you would have heard these men clearly say that their love language is not words of affirmation.
And I heard that. But what I'm saying is it was still different, because Hemp said none of his motivation comes from a woman. He said a woman cannot motivate him.
But that would still be
But you
words of
just
affirmation.
negated your own statement.
I'm listening to what exactly Hemp said. I'm listening to exactly
You
what
just
Hemp
negated
said.
your own statement, though,
But
Mary.
it don't change.
My statement was the fact that him and A were saying two completely different things.
But no, they saying the same thing, just two different ways.
How?
You better speak.
He's not motivated.
Hemp said he don't get
Hemp
motivation
and
from women at all. Hemp said he don't get motivation from women at all. A says he can still get his motivation from your presence. Hemp said that's out of there.
No, he said your words.
But we know
it ain't coming from nowhere but himself.
But how many times has Hemp said he do what he do for his family? That's just the gift.
They said the words.
He said that it comes from
Man,
himself.
man, step into the space. I know I'm late, man. Step into the space. Tupac, can I get in there?
Eddie
Tupac?
on one, y'all. Let Eddie talk.
I'm on this crown. Forgive me. I'm over here grilling 200 pounds of chicken. But yeah, shout out to Asia and that little fro. I'm loving that shit. But anyway, listen, we don't need immediate motivation like from women. Like, we love y'all, all of that shit. It's amazing. You know, you bring life into the world, Rue. But ultimately, men are driven by the fact that we have to drive our families, we have to drive our businesses. As a business owner, just like, I'm about to be up till like fucking 2-3 o'clock in the morning. There's no woman here with me. It's fucking 30 degrees outside. I'm out here grilling food for a client that I got tomorrow. I'm feeding 150 people, right? There's no motivation immediately that comes from feminine energy. However, it's like, I'm feeding women, I'm feeding children, I'm feeding families, right? If in a relationship, do you have some sort of effect on how I move? Surely. But are you the main motivation? I think it's arrogant to say like you are the only motivation that I need in order to function. Because without you, I still have to function. And I think that's what Hamp is saying. And possibly, I'm not going to speak for you, Mary. Possibly that's what's being missed. And that's what also Q further solidified. It's just like, yo, like, I'm saying it. A said it. Ham said this shit. And it's just like we've said this shit before on other podcasts. Like when men lay down the law on what the fuck it is that we're feeling and saying, y'all dismiss the shit. And it's like the point has already been made. But yeah, like, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't dismiss the
Asia,
point.
DM me.
I didn't dismiss the point at all. I understood exactly what each of you said. But what I'm saying is two people were saying two different things. Y'all can assume what Hamp might have thought, or whatever the case may be. But Hamp himself has said, I don't get motivation from anyone but myself.
May all the men basically told us to shut the hell up. Like, don't talk. They all basically said it, just don't talk.
Like, I completely understand where y'all coming.
But
My
that
thing is,
the shut up comes afterwards. Like it's as if we're going in circles. Like I feel like you.
I agree.
It's not the crowd roll you're speaking. Like I'm just saying.
Eddie, aren't you motivated? You're motivated by women
like,
because you just said you cook for only women, so that motivates you to get up and cook.
I did not say that. Again, another example of women not listening. Like I said, women, children, and families. Goodness gracious.
Mainly women.
But I feel like my issue is y'all
Shout
automatically like dismissing it because
it is New Year's Eve.
Different opinions.
In a few hours, the new year starts with the Bruhs Founders Day. What up, Sean? Hey, what up, Han? Hey.
That's the crown speaking.
I'm sorry.
But go ahead,
Mary.
Mary.
It is.
Chill. Yes. Go ahead, Mary. What are you saying?
I'm just saying, like, for you to feel like I'm completely dismissing something, I'm not. I'm hearing both sides. I completely agree with a lot of things that you are saying. But what I'm saying is, to me, the message I got from Hemp was, you keep saying that y'all and Hemp saying the same thing. Y'all keep assuming around what Hemp is saying. And I'm just telling you exactly what I got from Hemp. He didn't beat around the bush with anything. Hemp is real specific. Hemp said he did not get any of his he does not get any of his motivation from women. Adrian, on the other hand, was like, hey, your presence is going to bring you motivation.
Let me ask you a question. Hemp, did you or did you not say you don't need no motivation from anybody else? Because I thought Hemp said he doesn't need a woman to motivate him.
I don't.
And he says he doesn't get motivation from anyone but himself. Correct, Hemp?
Yeah, they don't motivate me. My kids, my wife, they don't motivate me.
Right. See? Right. Hold on. But the initial thing he said was that he doesn't need motivation. And so from that standpoint, me and Hemp were saying the same thing, because I was saying it's not a need. I was saying that a woman can motivate a man, but it's just by being her. And the reason why I was pointing out the difference was because a lot of women will say, hey, I can motivate you. I can push you when you are down. I can pull you up. And what I was really trying to hit home with is men don't need it that way. The way that a woman can do it if she wants to is legit by just being her. And then if it happens, it happens. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Majority of a man, if he has a woman in a family, that is going to push him to be successful. Now, Hemp moves the same way. And then you have a lot of men who do move the same way regardless of their responsibilities. For me, what I'm saying, so I get what you're saying, Mary, in terms of how it being different. With me, what I'm saying is, yeah, I go hard already anyway. But versus when I was a single man, and it was just like me, and I had to make sure my kids was good. When I got off this podcast, I'm going to sleep. But now that I have her too, okay, now let me push it a little bit harder. You know what I'm saying? Because of her, but not because of anything that she has done. So it is possible, but it is not a need. So from that standpoint, I agree with Hemp. And just because Hemp says that a woman or nothing else can push him or give him that extra edge here and there, I think he's definitely in the minority with that. Mm-hmm. So we good? So we move to the next topic now?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, no, good. Yeah. Yeah, I think I just define, there's some definitely inspiration, but motivation, and I'm disciplined always. Mm-hmm. I've been grinding for a long time. It didn't just start. You know what I mean? So And I stand on that. But hey, man, interesting. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. All right. Let me get to this. Asia, stop smiling so much. Man, she's smiling like a motherfucker.
Hey, just because Eddie like your fro?
Hey.
Oh, yeah. Eddie got a blushing and all that.
Eddie going already? Eddie going already?
Eddie was in the back chat for an hour and a half and was on for 7 minutes.
He was saucy.
Matter of fact, yo, that chicken gonna taste like fucking like charcoal, man. All right, let's get to it, man. Are men intimidated by successful women? Like, is this really a thing? Are men intimidated by a successful woman? Asia, you got the floor.
I think we need to start off with a definition. So we can all talk on this. We can all.
I was literally just about to pull one and put it in the chat.
You can do that too, Alex. Thank you. So the feeling of intimidation, as I said last week, has nothing to do with necessarily that women can beat you or fear of women. It is the sense of, because this is Merriam-Webster's dictionary, right? So we all have defined words. Words are important. You feel affected by or held back by. And that is the part I was addressing and dealing with. And I say that men are intimidated by women, successful women. I'm not saying that you're fearful of us, but you do feel held back by, and you feel a sense of, and you're affected by it, right? Because you feel we're in competition. I am not your competition. Let me be your helpmate. The fact that I am successful, I know who I am, that I am confident in who I am, and I have a certain power within me. And I don't care what y'all Negroids say, there is a power that is innate in us that we carry. And at times, beta males are negatively affected by that. When you come against an alpha, then they don't have to be intimidated by it. An alpha who's confident in who he is, an alpha that's gone through the healing process and is not still walking around with his wounds from childhood, they are not impacted by it. But there are a lot of betas dressed up in alpha clothes walking in this society. And those are the ones that I'm referring to. And it manifests in the way of saying, you talk too much. You're not submissive enough. I'm telling you, I am. Well, I don't believe it. Well, why are you not believing what I'm saying to you? I'm not trying to exert my power or prowess over you, but respect it. That's all. And I'm open the floor up.
Okay. What you think, Sean?
Get her, Sean. Get her, Sean. Get her.
He's stuck. You intimidated, Sean?
Asia know I love her. Asia know I love her. No, men are not intimidated by a woman's success or whatever that means. I don't believe that at all, because even by your definition for what you read, Asia, to be held back, what are you holding a man back from? Like, are we talking money?
Is that rhetorical? Is that a real question? You're asking
no, it's a real question. What is a man being held back from?
Some men may feel they're being held back from being the leader because I am who I am, and because I am confident in who I am and what I bring. And
is it because he's being held back from being the leader? Is it him being intimidated by your success, or intimidated by intimidated by you not willing to let him be the leader?
And that's what I'm saying.
Is it success? Is that success, or is it just who you are? Is that your personality?
Who I am. I never said successful. That's the title. But
that's what we're talking about. We're talking about, are men intimidated by successful women?
But what I'm saying,
I believe that it doesn't have anything to do with success. I don't think it has anything to do with success. I think it has to do with what type of women are choosing these men. So if you built your career, you didn't go out and party, whatever, you got undergrad at 20, 21, and you went to grad school, and you got your PhD, and you work at the Fortune 500 company, and you're successful by 32, 33, did you have time to build the social skills? What it requires to date a man?
Is this a question or rhetorical?
Probably not. I'm not asking a question.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
I'm just saying probably not. So does
Yeah.
that woman who is successful know what that means? No, I don't believe though. I don't believe that.
How do
So
you
no, I don't believe men are intimidated by a woman's success. I think men can be put off or feel like they could be held back from a woman who isn't allowing them to be in a space as a man. I don't think it has anything to do with men. Don't care about that. Like it.
You didn't address anything.
That's back to the motivation thing. I'm not going to let you dictate that about me and what I believe I could put on the table for myself. I don't need you in that sense. Same way you may not need a man.
We not go back to motivation.
Your success wouldn't intimidate a man. Your personality, your character would do that, not your success.
Yeah, I never said that, but go ahead.
I disagree with Sean. I think Asia said that alpha men aren't going to be intimidated, right? So I have a
everybody's not an alpha. So
right, but there are some men who are intimidated by successful women. I have a friend, her child's father acted a whole monkey because she decided to go back to school to get her master because he felt like she was going to leave him. So there's that fright. He was frightened.
That's a weak man. That's a weak man.
But there was still that intimidation there.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't.
They feel like how can I lead you because you're now successful? What can I do for you? Because it's like you have it all. I've had it happen. That's my anecdotal experience. But yes, that's why. Because we're so successful that Ava's laughing, but we're so successful that it's like, well, how can I lead you? You're doing too much.
And that goes back to my question I asked earlier about how do you lead someone who is successful?
Right.
I could go. I heard a pause. I can go. Okay. So, Sean, you already know I'm with you. Y'all are bugging if you think it's the success. So let's talk about why. First of all, how many raggedy dudes who don't got nothing going for themselves driving some woman with? You know what I'm saying? How many women taking care of men? We all know a bunch of them who do that. So there's no way we could be intimidated if it's dudes who don't got a dime in their pocket still knocking off all of these corporate women, driving their cars, living in their houses and things like that, right? So that's that's some proof that we're not intimidated by your success. Because you said, and I'm using based off of what you said, Asia, affected by. Another thing it could just be lifestyle, right? And so I'll talk about myself. It was this doctor who I was about to talk to or whatever. Like we talked a few times, but she made $250,000 a year. I can't keep up with your lifestyle, so I'm not even gonna try. So if before you say that's intimidation, women, the majority of a woman is not gonna start off spending her bread on a man, right? So if I can't even take you to the places you want to go, you see what I'm saying, and and afford that piece, you're not gonna give me the. Asia, you don't even got to raise your hand because if you do, you're lying.
No. It goes back to intimidated right there. You're intimidated.
Hold on. Just like him said, let me talk. It's not because I'm intimidated. It's because I'm aware too. Like we're realistic. The majority of women as a whole, y'all are not trying to spend y'all bread on no man off gate. Y'all all talk about a provider. Y'all all talk about being courted. Well, if I'm saying, hey, let me take you to Olive Garden, but you don't even like going to places like Olive Garden because you here to where you used to riding in helicopters and stuff like that, y'all say, oh no, we will give y'all a chance. Y'all won't. And for the most part, now I'm not talking to y'all because y'all are not there. But if you think about men who date who may be lower than where y'all are at. So case in point, if a man like, yo, Alex, you not married, yo, let me take you get this 4 for 4. Yo, like, I think you cool. Let's go get this 4 for 4. You're not going to look at him like he crazy? Keep it a buck, Alex. Yeah. You going to 4 for 4 date?
I did.
And it's, you know.
Hold on. I want to see Alex. Alex, you going on a 4 for 4 date, Alex?
And it's lunch.
Staying within your
It depends.
Hold on. And Isha, and with Isha, the only reason why you agreeing is because you a lot wiser now than you once were. But before you had the knowledge that you have now, You ain't going on no 4 for 4. You're gonna get right on Facebook and make a status. This nigga tried to get me a strawberry smoothie and thought it was good. You know what I'm saying? So that's a wise decision. You see what I'm saying? Because when I asked, I'm like, yo, you want to do this? She sent me a thing to a restaurant. Look, we go. I dropped like 400. I'm like, yo, I can't do this no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing this no more.
You're staying within your caliber.
Right. So it's not it's not an intimidation thing. It's just because, hey, I know the type of things that you like to do. I'm not there yet, so I'm not even gonna, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think that's based off of your success or because we're intimidated. It's just because we already know what a lot of y'all want.
If all you're coming,
y'all want to be courted.
You're spinning the bag.
That's the problem, eh? If you're putting forth your financial, you're basing it solely upon what you offer financially, you're going to lose automatically anyway.
Women
and I
do that.
Sit there and said it's all about financial because I'm answering you because I'm telling you right now. You're going to miss your blessing out thinking that all women want is financial substance. Because wait a minute, hold on. There said, well, you don't want me taking her to the 4 for 4, but if all you're offering is money, then yes, like what are you offering intellectually, right? What are you offering as far as feeding her soul? What are you offering as far as is reading intellectual books and growing and building together? It's not always about if I can take you to this restaurant. What else do you offer besides that? Because women are not basic as y'all say that we are. And that's the offensive part. Like, stop putting women, and we talk about successful women. Let's talk about let's define what a real grown woman is then too.
Yes, can we define
we like sense. We like somebody that has some sense, some knowledge.
But hold on, at the same time, though, you can't say that you want a provider and say that you're not thinking financials. You can't say that. It comes with it.
But if I'm not putting that in the forefront as a deal breaker that you can't afford this, then that's not
right,
my.
But not even just my thing is like not even just dinners. He's talking about the lifestyle you live. If you're saying you want a provider, that means that you want a man to cover at least 75% of what the expenses are for a household. So if he knows that he can't stand on that, then he's gonna pick and choose his poison. That doesn't mean that he's intimidated. That just means that, hey, what you're looking for, I'm not there.
All you can provide is money, though. All they can provide,
I'm saying you can't. What I'm saying is, you're saying that
dick in the bag, girl.
You're saying that women don't think about money. That's a lie.
A lot of women don't. A lot of women do not,
and they're not successful in relationships. If they don't, they're not successful in relationships. Any stable relationship includes finances.
Money.
Any stable relationship includes finances. It does. You can't tell me that it's off the table.
Yeah,
but a successful woman, she knows she already got her own bag. She's not looking for that man to have that bag. She would like him to have something.
But you're also not looking for him to be a bum. You're looking for him to have a bag.
That's not true.
If y'all
I will push back.
I'm
push back on that.
You can't take finances off the table.
Bullshit.
Finances are not off the table.
Listen, ain't nobody saying that.
Love ain't
nobody saying that. I think what's being said by the women on the panel so far is that if she's making 80 to 100,000 and he's making 45 to 60,000, she's okay with that as long as he's not sitting on his ass all goddamn day.
Yes.
So yes, you're right. Finance is a part of that. So you add to what's already there.
Okay. So do you are you seeing a lot of white collar women that are doing well dating blue collar men, dating the $40,000 a year man? We don't see that, right? So Q,
right.
What we're saying, all I'm saying to say that is that sounds good, but it actually doesn't happen in real life.
Because to the point of the question, him. And I'm curious to ask Adrian.
He's not intimidated, Q. He's not in the same circle.
Let me land, because you didn't like when the women didn't let you land earlier.
What are you talking about?
Do that now.
What are you talking about?
I'm
answering the question. I'm giving you perspective into what you're saying, because the hypothetical is very unrealistic. They're not even in the same circles,
right?
To even meet, to even say he's intimidated or not.
How do you? Come on, him.
Birds of a feather flock together. You know that. I mean, that's just life. People don't roll in the same circles. They don't. I went to a party at Asia's house. There were no garbage men there.
All right. So I would say this, where do they connect and disconnect, right? So we're talking about someone who makes 85,000 would not ever meet somebody who makes 65,000. Is that what you're saying?
No, we're not saying never. That's not what I
right.
said.
You're making right. So
You're
so I
speaking
don't
in absolutes.
I don't quite get what you're saying.
I said they're not in the same circles because they're not.
Yes, they do.
But the likelihood of them crossing paths and connecting and having a relationship
is
can
less
happen.
likely. Is less likely.
That's not true.
If you don't make the same money, right, Q, you don't go to the same places. You don't frequent the
But how
same
do you
thing.
nah, nigga, my nigga. So you
Because you
saying two
can't
people
afford
that
it.
make different types of money don't go to the beach?
Or the same grocery store or gas
Or the
station?
same right.
Post
That's
office?
fine,
The fuck is you talking
They
about?
both can afford a
watch
4 for 4. How I mean,
But people aren't fraternizing in those places as much anymore, right? So if you guys are saying that you're being approached at the same rates of maybe in the 90s when men were approaching women, not just a nigga that you don't even pay 1 second to, right? Not in the gym. Men aren't approaching women at the same rates either. So even though you're seeing them at these places, are we really engaging? And you guys assume it's intimidation, but it could be rejection. Is that related to intimidation?
But that's so like I said before you asked all these loaded questions to try to prove your point. Let me land with Adrian. So when you
What the
spoke,
fuck
when you
are
was
you
dealing with
talking?
this
Wait.
woman,
What was loaded about what I said?
because you're asking a bunch of questions, and I was trying to speak
But you
about some
said
other shit. You started
loaded
talking
though.
over
You
me to
said
ask a bunch of
loaded though.
questions.
But you said
Okay, Ham.
loaded
So
though.
some
What was
questions.
loaded
You're
about what
asking
I said?
questions. Yeah.
Well,
Can I
say
get
that
back
then.
to asking A plus the question?
Yeah, but don't say something I
Respectfully.
didn't say. Don't say
Respectfully.
something I
Okay.
didn't say though.
All right. So Hamp didn't ask a bunch of loaded questions. Hamp just
Nah,
asked
nigga,
questions.
I didn't
Ask a
ask a
question.
bunch
Ask
of
a question.
loaded questions.
All right. Can
Nah,
I
I
get
didn't
back
ask
to
a bunch
asking
of
my
loaded
question?
questions. Nah, fuck that. I didn't ask a
Hamp,
bunch of loaded questions.
are you feeling blue today?
Ding ding
I didn't
ding
ask a
ding
bunch of
ding ding
loaded
ding ding
questions.
ding.
You understand what I'm saying?
I was just going to say, ding
Nah,
the
because I
bell.
don't like that shit. I don't
And
like that
but I
shit.
gave you
Don't.
that. All right. Just chew on your banana
All
and
right,
you don't like that
all right,
shit,
go
dog. All
ahead.
right. Listen. A plus. When you was
Yes,
dealing with
ma'am.
this woman
Yes,
who
ma'am.
was a doctor, whatever, right? She made money, she made bread.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When you was dealing with her,
Yes, ma'am.
were you completely transparent and honest after seeing her lifestyle and letting her know what you could and couldn't do and what your expectations and quote unquote needs were?
I feel like I was like we didn't necessarily have the conversation. So like when she would be like, I would plan stuff, it would be like, well, I don't do that. Or she would say, well, hey, what do you think about a trip to Greece and we could do that? I'm like, yeah, I don't make enough to do that. Like I got to take care of this, I got to take care of that. So it was like okay kind of thing. Like yeah, like okay. I'm like yo, let's try to do a picnic or something. Nah, I don't do that. So it's like all right, cool. Like it is literally not going to boom. But what was crazy was once I cut her off, she tried to come back though. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody ain't A plus, man. Everybody don't got the plus. You know what I mean? But that was after the fact though. You know what I'm saying? that was after the fact.
So
But
I think a big problem too is, and I don't want to discredit anybody's opinion or nothing like that, but when successful women do get in relationships or they do date guys who are below their profile and it doesn't work out, that's a general excuse as to why it didn't work out. Like, oh, he was intimidated. When in reality, that's just not accurate.
So, but let me
They
ask
say
this
things to be
follow-up.
intimidated, like they're intimidated.
But let me ask this follow-up question. So A plus, past dealing with her, did you deal with any other women of that caliber?
No, and I think that more so goes back to what Hamp said. You don't run into them like that because we don't go to the same circles. The type of hotels she goes to, the type of places she eats at, I don't eat there on a regular basis unless I'm in a relationship and it's a special occasion. That's an everyday thing for her. I don't hang out there. Huh?
Okay.
I'm not hanging out nowhere where I'm dropping 200 for a meal and I could go get this 4 for 4.
All right. So you said that there's plenty of women that are giving guys cars and guys who ain't doing shit and all this stuff. So you confirmed that there are successful women who give up those things freely, correct?
Yeah, but they're usually giving it to men that are way like here too. You know what I'm saying? So those are not those type of successful women may not be what I deem successful, but they're successful to the men lower than me, the ones that drive the car. Like, you know what I'm saying? Does that kind of make like it's levels to it? Does that make sense?
So what, Ms. Nate, your keyboard loud again. So
my bad.
Would you be inclined? Would you be inclined to giving another woman of that said caliber a shot? Well, if you were, hypothetically speaking, if you were not married, would you be inclined to giving another woman of that caliber a shot?
If it would depend, honestly, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's not only the fact of your success, but it's a lot of things that come with that success in a woman's mindset in order for her to become that successful. And a lot of times, for majority, not everybody, not you, Asia. You know, I know you're looking for something different, but I know you can at least agree that with the majority of women, when the man ain't making what they make, they will throw that in his face, or that masculine boom, boom, boom. Like, oh, you don't pay no bills here. You can get out and go. Like we all know the women who make significantly more than the man that they are with, they dingling.
So
hey, we can't hear you.
Hey, hear you. I muted your phone.
I thought it was just me.
Whatever.
So it's not that I'm intimidated by you, but it is these other things that I would have to take into consideration, even with how it develops. So if I meet a woman who make bread, I'm not gonna just not talk to you, you know what I'm saying, because of it. We can chop it up, we can talk, because I know one thing that separates me from a lot of men is that I know how to listen. I know how to articulate myself. I'm gonna pay attention to these details. You know what I'm saying? So I know it probably would be easy for me to talk to her, to get to know her. But again, how is that personality going to be on the flip side of it? And what is her requirements? Because like y'all were talking about, like most women are not trying to spend their bread on a man to keep up with their lifestyle, and they're not trying to downplay their lifestyle. If you used to going to Greece every 3 months or in Egypt like it's nothing, and I can't afford to pay for me to go, you're not dropping bread to fly me out. Most women not doing that.
All right.
And
so
there are some women that do it though.
If
I wasn't married, if y'all was flying niggas to Egypt, I'll go to Egypt with you, yo. You know what I'm saying? I go to Egypt with you.
So are you saying
I
that
gotta get Nay in.
These women who are throwing this in your face, do you feel like that's a threat to you?
Well, it's never happened to me. So for that standpoint, I'm more so speaking to men that I know or have worked with, or things that I have, you know, seen. I've never been in a relationship with a woman who was more successful than me.
All right. So would you say that type of character would be intimidating to those men at this point?
No, I think it's just something I don't want to deal with, because when intimidating based upon what she says, she's saying, okay, I'm just affected by the fact you're successful. So I'm not affected by the fact you're successful. I'm affected by the way that you talk to me and the lack of respect you have for me because you make more money than me. That's
because
what
of the success.
No. I'm not affected by your success. I'm affected by the way you talk to me, by the way you treat me, by the way you feel like I'm not in need because you could take care of yourself. That's
because the root of that is her success.
No, the root of it is how you talk to me.
It's
the root
his
of it is how
character.
you treat me.
Because the root of it is her success. Because you guys are saying if she worked for Chick-fil-A,
she speaks to somebody.
If she worked for Chick-fil-A, standing outside in 100 degrees with the iPad, she would act the same way.
If she was an asshole, yeah.
So now you can't come with that point, Sean. Y'all know what the fuck I'm saying. Y'all know what the fuck going on.
I know exactly what you're saying. And if somebody got bad character, it don't matter how much money they make.
Nah, we not talking about character.
But if he talk about how a woman is disrespectful towards a man, throwing money in her face, that's bad character.
Because the success is linked to that.
No, it isn't. It's assholes who are successful too.
Yeah, that's a given, but that's not what we're talking about. He's talking about the core character of women. We're talking about the character.
There are successful women who don't do that, right?
Are you speaking to the core character of women who tend to have success?
No, I'm saying that there's multiple types of women who have success, right? So if it's all successful women,
because we're speaking about
all,
success in
all
terms
successful women
of
have great personalities, great characters. Is that what you're saying? See how
there
you
are women with there are women with success that have beautiful personalities and characteristics.
And the opposite, right?
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying, Sean. That's a given. We're not speaking in absolutes in that sense. But what
Right.
I'm
You're
saying
the
to
only
you,
one saying
but
absolutes.
what I'm saying to you is this: if she worked outside of Chick-fil-A holding the fucking iPad in 200-degree weather in Texas, she ain't gonna have that kind of attitude that Adrian's talking about. Because where's that coming from?
Because potentially a woman that is more successful is going to be less submissive.
She got boss
Adrian was
energy.
speaking about it when Adrian was speaking about it. It was more so she's on my same level or she's close to my level, so she kind of running shit too. So it's more of in the terms of she's being less submissive, which is maybe something that a man doesn't want at the time. It doesn't always mean that it creates an intimidation. It's just, hey, I want you to be a submissive woman because I'm running shit. But she's like, nah, we on the same level. I don't have to listen to what you're saying.
But what is nah.
Hold on. Let me
No.
say this. Let me say this, and I'm done. This is why I say it's not based on a success, Q, because you have, and Asia's probably one of the women who are very successful, but they're still kind. They don't have to throw it in your face. They're not going to make you look bad. They're not going to feel like, hey, this is a reason for me to talk down to you just because I'm successful. So it's not the success when you have women who are successful and can still have high character, like Sean was saying, to where, hey, just because I have this doesn't mean I can talk to you any type of way. You still are the man. I still want to follow you. Am I right, Asia? I'm right. So, but then you have the type of women who
love being right.
the majority of women who are successful, there's certain traits that you have to have in order to be successful, which are predominantly masculine traits. You have to be non-agreeable to be able to move up. You got to be work hard. You got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to shut a lot of that stuff off. So women typically who do that to get here, they don't know how to shut that off when it comes to be a man. It's not something you can flow in and out of at the drop of a hat.
No, I don't think that has to do with success. I think that has to do with brokenness. But I do think on surface level, women with a certain level of what men deem as success are intimidating to men.
So let me say this. So what if I tell you that the majority of women who are super successful are broken? Because like Sean said, you put so much energy into becoming successful that you don't even know how to develop relationships with people or to even communicate with people. Not all, but the majority. So because you haven't spent, so maybe not even broken, but because you spent so hard being career driven, you haven't learned the skills necessary to know how to even live and respect a man. You've never seen it growing up because you was raised by all of your aunties. So you don't have no experience. You don't have nobody who you look up to telling you this stuff in your ear. And so now you're expected to just know how to just do it.
So can those men be broken when they can't understand that a woman is successful and accept that she's successful? Is that a brokenness in the man then?
What can we answer what he said or address what he said, and then you can switch it?
Yeah. Well, what I'm going to say is this: so just what you just said, because this goes on what Sean said earlier. My point was, because we're successful does not mean we skipped social skills class or social skills training or whatever, and that's the falsity that men have, and that's the intimidated factor. Y'all can't talk to, y'all don't know how to talk, y'all don't know how to socialize. Well, no, it's we just socialize probably different. And it's not saying that it's a higher or lower, but the way I talk and the way I communicate and the way I present myself, it's like, you don't know how to talk to a man. Well, no, I do. You just can't accept the way I present, which is not disrespectful, which is very kind and loving, as you pointed out, But some men, I'm sorry, I can't say some men take that as saying she thinks she's better than. No, and I've heard that a lot. She thinks she's better. Why do you talk like that? But it's like, you have to communicate with me and don't be intimidated by my speech. Why you gotta use all those big words? Because that's how I talk. Get a
right, but so let me ask you this though. But let me ask you this then, Asia. Right. So just to meet you where you are at, if you're running into a lot of men who don't understand you or feel like you can't communicate with them correctly, and you desire a man, why not switch up how you communicate to them?
So let me, because I'm not. and that's a part of being.
She had to dumb herself down.
Hold on, because we do it.
Wait. So is she intimidated by the less educated man?
Am I intimidated? No, I'm definitely not.
No, level up. Get on her level. She has an education, so you should have an education too. That's what she wants. That's what she's seeking. She desires to have that.
Be intimidated by the garbage man, yo. Don't be intimidated by the garbage man.
But the garbage man, first of all, garbage people make good money. But it's working for the city, they make good money. Let's talk about that. You got to pass an exam. You got to be educated first of all to be a garbage man or a city worker.
Don't.
So that don't. Yes, you do. There's some garbage men that make really good money. They make better money than other people.
Put them in the fucking college. Get them out of here.
No, they don't.
I know some.
Man.
But I think when it comes down to the conversation of are men intimidated by successful women, I think for some, yes. Or let me not say some, there are groups of men and individuals who may be intimidated by that. And when I say intimidated, I don't always necessarily mean financially. I think they may feel, oh, she has more education than me. She has this title at work. So with that, I need to present myself in a certain manner for her. I may need to switch up how I normally deal with said women. I think to Adrian's point, and what Mary said too, is Adrian knew his lane. He understood what it was with that woman. Like, I had a great time, but he was realistic with himself and saying that, something, if I pursued X, Y, and Z, if I pursued to be in this relationship with this woman who wanted to go to Greece, it may not be successful in the long run. You want to know why? Because I can't keep up with that lifestyle. So there's that piece to it. The other portion of it also is that, yes, there are women, and I do agree with Asia, just because you are successful doesn't mean you lack communication skills or anything of the nature. But the reality is that sometimes when women are choosing to date below their caliber or someone who's not on the level as a woman, when you get into that argument or you get into that something, you know what? Shut your broke ass up. There are women that do that.
Alex, got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How do you qualify caliber? Is it based on money? Because that's what it sounds like. Hence when you said such a broke ass up. So I guess my point is, right, I think that men's value is tied to his money.
Mm-hmm.
And so women value men less if they don't have money. That's why we don't see the garbage man with the doctor quite often. Right? Because he can't maintain that. She'll always have something over him. I think the question would have been better suited, and I apologize if I would have said, are successful men intimidated by successful women? And I think maybe that's better because we keep talking about the caliber and that shit men don't want to hear. Nay. So,
I was gonna say, don't men lead with money though? They do most of the time.
Well, that's a different conversation. Okay. But maybe I should have just rephrased it because we keep on going like level and this, that, and the third. But if we're on the same level and I don't like you because you talk too much, that's not intimidation. Somebody masking it. Like, because here's what women don't understand. You guys talk to us a certain way and it's allowed. But in the same turn, I told my wife this, men don't talk to me any type of way. But women seem to think they can get away with that shit. That's like what we're talking about with talking. All that barking and you in my ear, that shit don't happen to me in real life. But women think they can do that to men. That's the talking we talking about. And so you say that is, what did you say, Asia? Does that make more sense, or that still falls in the same category that you were speaking about earlier?
No. That what you just said, I'm glad you added that caveat in that context, because I'll still say the same exact thing. I like that one better. Are successful men intimidated by successful women? And I still say yes. Because I remember when I was growing up, and I'm gonna tell you why, you're making fake. No, I make faces, remember? Can't make faces when we talking.
Mm-hmm. Stop listening.
Is you got to be careful what you present to a man, because if he feels he can't offer you anything, he's not going to want you. And I was told that by women and men when I was growing up, right? And at first I didn't get it. I remember I had a really big ring I had bought myself. What are you going to have your man do for you? Like if If you bought that for yourself and you wear that and drive that or buy for yourself, how are you gonna? What's the man gonna do for you? And I'm like, he can do a whole lot more than that. Like, it's not about him going one upping me on what I bought myself. What about, like I said before, an hour ago, offering me more of you? I'm not with the man because he can sit there and buy me something. He can be an asshole and still buy me a lot of different things. I want to be with the man who wants to be with me, who loves me, who feeds me. We feed each other. We're in partnership. We're building. We're growing together. It's a very all-encompassing thing that I want. And it's not just money, because money does not make a man. There are some of the most broken men in the world that have a lot of money. So yes,
Hey, Asia, question.
Go ahead.
No, just question just on that. Do you think men with money get more rope though?
Oh, with the women, some women do give them more rope because they're like, I'm gonna stick around because he has money, and they take a lot of abuse, whatever. It's not physical, you know what I'm saying? They take a lot of crap and toxicity because they have money. Yes, but that woman right there does not have her own, right? Because a woman that has her own in every sense of the word is not going to sit there and stick around just for the money, because it's like, I don't need that. And again, that's what I said a long time ago. A woman who is confident and knows who she is and what she wants is that's what I'm the context I'm putting around it being successful. That's a part of being a successful woman.
I just gotta say, Asia was preaching to the tabernacle. That's all. I just want to say that you was preaching, girl. Thank you for all of what you said. But go ahead, yeah.
Go ahead, Eddie. I mean, go ahead, Nate. Because you've been just chiming, but you ain't get to give a lot of your own thoughts.
I just gotta say, I agree with everything Asia pretty much said. That's why I was in the chat. Like, Asia said everything I'm thinking, like every bit of it. Like, I don't really have much else to say, but she was on it. That's it. She was on it because I can't reiterate it. She said it.
All right, so let me say this, y'all, and y'all can let me know if I'm wrong. I feel like the most women who say that are single women who say they want men who, oh, I need more from you than money, right? So why is that?
Because men lead with their money, and if they feel it's all you want more than, if you want more than that, I can't offer you more than that because I don't have. I'm working in a deficit. I'm working in a deficit if you want something outside of my money, and that's why there's a lot of single women that say that.
So, but there are numerous of broke men who still have a bunch of women. I've always had multiple women when I didn't have money.
What's it called?
So that's why
those women they have no goals and aspirations in life.
I'm in college. I'm borrowing my cousin Isha whip. My grandma giving me change for bread.
Those girls are women though.
Right. Those are little kids in their 20s.
College different.
Yeah, you talking about pussy. It's pussy in general. Like, you're not talking about women.
A real successful woman has goals, and she's not going to accept that at all.
But at the same time, y'all keep saying that the money don't matter. Like, I'm so confused because y'all keep saying money don't matter, but y'all not gonna fuck this. It's people.
Money does matter.
But there are women that will do it. That doesn't matter. Like, they'll look at, okay, I'm making bread, and he may not have much, but it's his character that I like. It's what else he can bring to the table. Because for some, for some women that will do that.
Hey, that's I'm telling
money
you,
matters.
It matters.
It does, you can make less than somebody and still know how to work your money.
But nobody want a broke ass nigga.
But that's contradictory,
nobody
though.
Wants a broke ass nigga. Nobody wants a broke. You could love this nigga so much. If you can't be stable with this nigga, it is not gonna last long. You are married this nigga. If he don't got something, he bring it to the damn table. Trust me, I've been with niggas with a bunch of money. I've been with niggas with no money.
So, Mary, let me ask you this. Does money matter, or does management of money and credit matter?
Thank you. How you work your money and make it work for you.
Oh, my God.
To be able to manage your credit, you have to have some kind of money. It's not listen, no credit and bad credit. No credit is worse than bad credit. You have to be able to have some money to be able to build some kind of credit to be able to do something. Management of money also means that you have money to manage.
So you're telling me you had perfect fucking credit, you would need to make over $200,000 a year?
I'm not
with
saying
perfect credit you could have the same.
I'm saying that you
nice
need
shit as somebody else with half that salary.
If you don't have money, what are you managing? money management. You have
But
to
nah,
have
you
money.
Because
can
you
have
know,
you
if you have
millions
financial
if you manage
wellness, you know how. I'm the
Hey,
testament.
I'm not
hey,
saying that you
I'm
have
with
to
Mary.
have $100,000. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I cannot believe that somebody can be in a successful relationship if one person has so much money and the other person is dead the
Yes.
fuck broke. If you're both broke, it's gonna work.
Because what about the longevity? Is something Mary
Nope.
said later.
I don't. I just.
Disagree.
It's gonna work for a little bit, but later on, when
Where's
shit
your
gets real, when bills
where's your
got to be
stability?
paid, when bills have to be paid and life happens and things pile up,
Right.
I don't got time for you to be trying to work your two
That
and three
man that
jobs.
you're looking
I
for
want
to
you to work
provide
your one
for
job
you,
because that's enough money and you bring it to your home.
that
Yes.
man,
Money matters.
exactly. That man that you want to provide for you, that man that you want to be submissive for, he can't do that with no change in his pocket. He can't.
I agree. I agree.
He can't. I've been there.
You're
I've
right,
been on both
granted.
sides of the fence.
We start talking
Listen,
about.
no, but I don't think. But let's be clear on this. I don't think anybody's saying it's not a goal to make money, right?
But it was mentioned that
But
it
I
don't
think
matter.
that's what you guys are translated that as.
No, it was mentioned that it don't matter.
Well, no. Let me clarify. Because
It's how you manage that little bit of money.
The specific
Because
word
you can manage
that
that money
does
to
not
end up
matter.
making
But
way
going
more
back to
money.
Adrian's point, if I'm used to going to Greece, I'm not trying to have you take me down to Virginia Beach as we were talking about earlier. No, I'm trying to catch the flight to South Africa. So
Right,
no,
but
I'm
Alex,
going to
Alex,
the crib, blue moon. When I'm used to a certain type of something, I want blue water, not brown water. Like
Let's,
There you go.
can I ask a question? So Asia, you do well for yourself, right? There is a threshold, right? Like that man can't make 35 G. That'd be
correct.
some type of threshold, right?
Yes,
And
but that's what I'm saying. We're talking very. We're not.
yeah, I mean,
Y'all
it's good though, but I just wanted to.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about making
Yeah.
money. You don't
You
have. He
saying
doesn't have to be a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. He doesn't have to be.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
rich.
But you saying he gotta.
But you said money don't matter. See,
It
doesn't
doesn't.
matter.
It does.
Yeah,
It does not matter in the character. But it does not matter because again, I'm not. That's not my deal breaker. Because if this man makes $100,000, he's an asshole and treats me horribly. I don't care how much money he makes. It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
Wait,
That's
But
hold on, hold on.
the queen with 20
Hold on.
grand, do you feel the same?
Yeah,
well, that's
it's the
a college
same.
kid. That's a college kid. I'm not dealing with no college kid. I'm a
Well,
grown
the
woman.
average member.
makes that kind of money though.
Average salary is about 45,000 a year. So
Yeah, a lot of people
average.
make about 45. I think the average salary is 45,000.
45 a year.
But I thought Ham revised the topic or the question was successful men and successful women. So we're kind of on the same plane. But I thought we changed it. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I want to repeat this. We were talking about the same thing. Successful women and men. Not saying he's making 55,000 and 45,000. If he's making 55,000, if he has 800 credit, that's what's up.
Yeah.
But what
Add
I'm,
up. Go ahead. Adrian, my
But
bad.
that still doesn't make sense because if you're a successful man and you're
he can't
intimidated
be-
by a successful man can't be intimidated by a successful woman. He's fought too hard to get to the top of the food chain where he is. He's not intimidated by nothing walking the earth. If he's a successful man, he's not gonna come across somebody who he's intimidated by.
Again, I'll repeat what I said 15, 20 minutes ago. Men that feel they can't offer anything because they lead with their money are intimidated. I will repeat that.
And I've said the same thing, Asia. So yes.
I think
he could be successful, but if I'm successful too, he's like, well, what can I offer her?
What can I offer you?
I
Just
think
your money.
Asia, I think we're just dis the fact because of how much.
You went out. Sorry, repeat it. You went out.
Oh, sorry. No, I was saying we're just disagreeing with that fact because of how much it took to get there. So it's not an intimidation factor, right? Because especially based on that definition, you know.
I'm not following what you're saying. I hear you, but what's your point? I'm not trying to be funny. What's your point? What are you saying?
No, I'm just saying that we just disagree because it took too much to get there for me to now be successful and then be intimidated by some woman because she got a little bit of money.
It may have taken you a lot to get there, but when you get there, let's be very honest with everybody on here. When you get to a certain level of success, you come with a certain confidence, and with that confidence, you know that I can do whatever I want to do. If you encounter someone else that is just as equally as successful as you, but maybe a little bit more, or she doesn't need your money, you can't sit there and impress her with your money. That's where intimidation can come in at. That's all I'm saying. They can come in that point because I'm not impressed by your money. I got it too. You
So you're
can't sit
saying
there
it's like,
and
what do they need you for?
act.
Yeah, and
and men get upset by
Yeah.
that. They're
Women-
intimidated by the fact that we don't need you.
I see what you're saying. I just don't think it's intimidation, but I know men do feel the need, that sense of
They
need to
feel timid.
provide.
Exactly, and that's the
But that's
timidity.
not intimidation, though.
Yeah, that's
But
what I feel like.
my definition of intimidation included being timid and being held back by. That's why I put the definition out there first on purpose.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't think that scenario fits that. That's all.
You don't think so? That he's a little bit more timid. He's like, well, he's a little bit gun shy.
No.
He's like, well,
what would he be gun shy? People like that aren't gun shy.
I feel like intimidation only correlates with lack of knowledge, lack of success, and lack of confidence.
Definitely lack of
Yeah, he won't lack that.
Everybody's on the same level. I don't feel like it's a sense of intimidation though. If I'm successful and you're successful, we're both confident and we both are knowledgeable. I don't think that it's a intimidation per se thing. I think
it is.
Like, kind of like whatever.
I think
like,
it's
I
that
can't
fear
do
of
nothing for you, or you might be in a position where you don't want to really do nothing because you're trying to be on that same scale. You trying to be an alpha, he trying to be an alpha. So he don't even want to be messed up with that. You know what I'm saying? Like that does happen.
Yeah.
I do think though, as the more successful women become, the smaller the pool gets for us as women. The smaller the picking pool gets, right? Because yes, we are willing to, out of love, because I don't need your money. Yes, so yes, we may be willing to go ahead and be with an individual who maybe makes less money than us, right? However, that may not necessarily be what you want. That may not necessarily be what you truly want. That's you accommodating because he doesn't have what you're used to or what you need. You are accommodating your lifestyle so that he can go ahead and he can be on the same level as you. And I think that's a conversation that's not necessarily talked about enough, is that the higher up successful, the more successful women are, the smaller the pool becomes for us. Versus for men, the more successful that they become, they can have anybody. The pool just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Alex, do you think it's because what's important to each of us? Is it because women are largely hypergamous?
Yes, I think it's about what's important to us. As we keep saying, like, men lead with their wallet, right? Women, we're like, okay, it's fine. I've got the money. It's okay. I love you though. You love me. I love you. But I feel like there comes a point where, in a man in that situation where the woman is, if there's a huge pay gap between the two and the man is the lower earner, I do think that there is some point in time the man is going to feel like, you know what? I'm not on her level. I can't give you the things that I want.
She's gonna feel that.
I can't provide for you in the way that I want to, because again, men think with money. So I can't take you out to go to Greece with you. We gotta go to a picnic, like Adria said. There's nothing wrong with picnics. However,
but is it him making her feel like that? Is it him? I mean, is it her making him feel like that? So is it her putting out there, like Adrian said, he got shut down? No, I don't do picnics. I don't do that. So is that our fault? Is that our fault that they feel so much at the bottom of the world to not be to the point where they can't approach us because we're not talking about anything else other than Greece and I don't do picnics? But why would he want to press forward and be like, well, maybe I can try to do this or try? He gonna be like, nah, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just not going to do it.
But this is why I asked him the question that I did. Has he then gone back into a space?
He's straight in his lane, Q.
Right. So you after that, you just like one and done.
What the comment said, that's what I want to know. Asia is speaking the word success, but I think she's referring to her money.
Okay, that's why we
I hear what Mike say. We got to address what Mike
saying. But that's why we asked earlier on, what are we deeming a successful woman? Because we keep talking about money.
The tone that came
from. That's what it's talking about. That's why Mike is asking, because he's like, first off, shout out to Mike with the first super chat, and this might be risky history.
Thank you, Mike. I didn't say that though.
Yeah, I think the tone that came across was about money. So when you guys started to speak on it, you were speaking from the place of money.
Right, and that's what I was saying earlier. Can we define what we were talking about? And then we just started chatting.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I think because it feels like money either way. Whoever's talking, I feel like money is what we're deeming success. So, what is a successful woman?
I swear, this is Groundhog Day. I said this when I first
Said that
started.
earlier, yeah. We
Did,
asked that.
did you hear me?
I
Thank you.
literally just said that. Yeah.
I did say this. I said she is
What is
confident in
a successful?
it.
Uh-huh.
She's
My bad.
confident
Go
in
ahead, Adrian.
and then there's a lag,
Yeah.
that's why. And she
Okay.
knows what she wants. She is at peace with who she is, and her soul is fulfilled. She is content. That to me is definition of success. The definition of success also means she's in any trauma she's been through, she's gone through it, healed through it, and learned from it, and is wise. All of those things. I never said anything about she makes 200 plus a year, 200,000
Okay.
a year. I never said that. I mentioned
Okay.
all like soul things, right? Mental things. I
Well,
mentioned all
can
that success to me.
say it one more time, concise, and then I want to get what Isha thinks a successful woman is.
Okay, I'll be very succinct. A successful woman is one who knows what she wants. She's confident in who she is and what she brings to the table. She's at peace with herself and practices care for herself and others around her.
Okay. Is money in any of that? No, right? Just want
Correct.
to be clear.
Correct.
Is education a part of any of that?
Yes.
Okay, so a successful woman has to also be
You am going in and out, but yes, educated. So education is not just bachelor's and master's and PhD, though. Let's be very clear about that. I want to be very clear because I think when I say things, people sit there and just go straight to the left with it. No, education.
well, you would have to be something that we can all measure. So what is the measure?
So it's not solely masters, bachelors, and PhDs. No, but education. She reads books. She's well read. She can have a conversation.
Success.
Absolutely, she's well read. Absolutely.
Okay. Even if but does it depend what she's reading?
You're right. She can't read comic books all day. You're right. She can't read comic books. And she can't read what anime.
I mean, okay.
She can't read that stuff. You're right. She has to read history books. She has to know her history. She has to know, she can read political books. She can read any type of nonfiction. She can even read some fiction.
Okay.
But she has to know how to read and articulate. So no, she can't read comic books all day long or read Shade Room on Instagram all day.
Okay. All right. We have that definition. Isha, what you think?
Damn, I might be out.
I agree with Asia for the most part that she has to know who she is, confident, unwavering in what her decisions are. I don't know if I agree with like the well-read part, or if education, like she can be successful with a high school diploma. I do believe, because I know successful women who just have a high school diploma.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, they're successful in what they want to do. They take care of their home. They take care of their children. They're well-rounded individuals.
Okay. Nay, how do you define it? What is a successful woman?
I had to write this down. So I feel like a successful woman is confident. They're successful in education levels, transforming her life from being at a low point, and she's mastering her life from that low point. It may not always be financial, but that does sometimes play a factor. And I'm speaking to myself.
Because that's me. So just to be clear, trauma is a part of what it makes a successful woman, or
overcoming traumas. I think that's successful as well.
So
because you can be at
overcome trauma to be a successful
I think you should. I think that, or even you're working towards overcoming those traumas. I think so. That's successful right there in and of itself, because it helps you to elevate to a higher level. You're at a low point and then you get to a higher level because you're working on those traumas. We're all healing every day. So
if you're working through, but you haven't yet beat it, that's success.
But that's successful, because if you started down here and it's like you've made some strides, you're already successful.
Is it success or progress?
That's progression, yes. But I think that's successful. That also depends on what you define as it. I would say that's successful. If I was at a low point and I've come up and I've gotten to a better level in life, better than where I was before, that's success. That's small strides, but I think that's successful. That ain't cap, act, av. That's real.
Okay. Mary, what's a successful woman?
I ain't it. Because listen here, I'm not reading no history.
You keeping it real. Go ahead, be honest.
I'm not reading no history, no political books. Let's be real. I do read fiction for the fun of it. But I read other things, but I guess that just kicks me out the loop.
But you know how to read. You read it.
I was with you, but I don't read no political and no history books.
What about What about spiritual or any kind of literature or spiritual or self-care books?
Self-healing. I do a lot of self-healing books.
That's successful. You're working past your traumas.
Listen, just because I'm not healed yet wouldn't mean that I'm not successful.
But you're working towards it though. But you're working
the process, right? The process is success within itself. Anybody that heals from some kind of trauma or what they've been through, to me, that's success within itself.
I agree.
Exactly.
But as a woman, personally, I believe a successful woman, because that's what we're speaking about, women specifically. So I feel like a successful woman is somebody that actually, it does include wealth. I feel like success comes in what you're able to provide as well. I feel like it comes with what you do for yourself. I feel like it comes with what you do for your family, the people around you, the people that you care about. Money, are you stable? I don't think that I would call somebody successful that can't keep a roof over their head. So I don't feel like financials are completely out of it, which I'm never going to think. But I feel like that's all included in that. But wealth, I feel like wealth to me is successful. Not richness, but wealth. So wealth in regards to having money, being able to manage it, being able to, you know what I mean, do the right things. I feel like that's what success is.
Wealth is age though. Like wealthy has some time to it. You know,
I feel like it
these rappers are rich, but they're not wealth comes with a little bit of age. You know what I'm saying?
like
what you're saying is just sustaining yourself.
Yeah, like that comes with management. Like I feel like wealth comes with management as well, whether it's time management, money management, it just puts self-management all together.
Okay. All right, hold on. Can I say something? So let me say something.
Let me get Q. Let me get Q's.
Oh yeah. All right.
Quick.
I say a successful woman starts something and finishes it. That she is selfless and in her own way a provider, a caregiver. I think that if you're a successful woman, you are, you know, like I said, starting something to finish it. You start goals for yourself and you accomplish those things. But all of it starts with you first in order to do something that's greater outside of you. That to me is a successful woman.
Okay. I go ahead, A, then Sean.
All right, cool. So I have a question. But it's still on topic, right? So if the question is men are intimidated by successful women, I'm gonna go with, are you saying that men are picking the women that are opposite of the things that y'all described? So if that would be the case, that would mean men are choosing women who are not confident, not powerful, who start things and who don't finish things, who don't take care of their homes, and who are not a provider. So are these the women that men are not marrying and being in relationships with? Is that what y'all are saying?
I'll tell you what I'm saying. I'm saying I'll stand on it.
I wrote it down. Take notes. My bad. Go ahead.
Just hear what I'm saying. I'm saying that in my opinion, most men are more comfortable around low vibrational bitches. That's what I'm saying.
What?
Girl,
okay, hold on, because
you better say that.
Okay, because so Asia, hold on, y'all over there being hyped. I'm using all of the points that all of y'all made. So Q, okay, cool. But specifically, what y'all were saying, if men are intimidated by these successful women, and what y'all deem as successful women are women who are confident, have power, finish things, start things and finish things, have confidence. These women that don't have those are the women that men are picking.
That
Is
are
that what y'all are saying?
gravitating more towards, yeah.
We're gravitating towards. So y'all friends that are married in relationships, they don't finish. They start things and don't finish. They're not a provider in their own sense. They are not confident.
Nobody said
have
that there were successful marriages out of that. We're saying,
no.
what do you guys gravitate
I didn't say
towards? So
successful
you're
marriage.
talking
I'm
about
saying,
something different.
hold on. What I'm saying is the women that these men are picking to marry don't meet the qualities of that y'all listed as a collective, which would to be called successful women. Then
so
those are the women that are too mute
that wouldn't
they don't
apply
talk.
to a successful marriage.
I didn't say it did. I'm saying the men that they still chose, the men that the women chose, don't meet this criteria then, because we're intimidated by successful women who are, based upon what y'all said, confident, powerful, providers on some degree. I had to, because this is the only way for me to use what y'all were saying, because I know y'all all have homegirls who are married, who are in relationships, and y'all would describe them as pretty confident, start things and finish, provide to a certain extent. I can't even read my writing.
Yeah, but to that point,
that doesn't mean that their relationships are successful.
Let me
to Q's
land.
point.
I'm gonna keep it a buck.
But you're
with you.
moving.
We
You're
don't
moving the
know
goalposts,
the
because that's not
success rate
that's
of
not the
those
point.
marriages, though. We don't know how that shit goes. We don't know the success rate of those marriages.
But
so
see,
what
now
is you
you're
talking
asking.
about?
But what I'm talking about is, because now you're talking about a different thing. You're asking me the success of the marriage. I'm not talking about the success of the marriage. I'm going back to the original point. Y'all are saying men are intimidated by successful women. So I'm asking y'all, if we are intimidated by the successful women, that means we're not going for the successful women. So the women that we have, are y'all saying they don't meet this criteria? Because if they meet this criteria, these are the ones that we have and that we're picking. So how are we intimidated by y'all if these are the women that we have?
So what Isha said last week.
Not. Now you're speaking that as a fact. I said what the fuck I said.
You said I'm speaking to a fact as that.
You're speaking that as if it's a fact.
That what's a fact?
That these are the type of women that are married, and that men. No, most men are gravitating towards low vibrational bitches. I said that.
Right. So that's why he's asking. So that's why he's asking.
That's crazy.
That's why he's asking. So are you saying that your well put together friends?
No,
are low vibrational.
I don't know the quality of the marriage of my well put together friends. That's what the fuck I'm saying.
That's it. Well, what the issue with that answer, Q, is it's like a cop out, but it's a little bit of a cop out, right? Because you don't have
my
to
well
answer.
Put together friend, my well
could
put
be
together
having
could
issues.
be single because niggas is intimidated. Where is he getting this information?
Well, what he's saying is he's just saying that the women that are being chosen, do they also have these qualities in which you guys named?
No, because they're dumbing themselves down so that they can get chosen.
If you're with a woman who's in a
sometimes
if you're gravitating towards a woman for the sake of marriage, 9 times out of 10, she ain't probably functioning at her best. 9 times out of 10.
To be married?
And that's what in my opinion, within the Black community, that's the comfort level. If a guy is gonna take a woman down that path, 9 times out of 10, she got the equivalent of male simp energy.
Dangerous.
Low vibrational energy.
Wow.
I don't agree. I don't agree.
9 times out of 10. I'm not saying
I feel like
there could be a 1%, but 9 times out of 10, I'm successful.
Hold on, Mary. I know.
I'm standing on that shit. Y'all could agree to disagree. Fuck.
It's dangerous.
Dangerous.
Isha.
I don't.
I gotta get Sean because he's been waiting patiently.
I don't agree with that. I think that, and I think Asia was going to speak to it. What I said last week is that men don't have a problem finding good women. I think it's easier for a man to find a good woman than it is for a woman to find a good man.
But you're not talking about successful women and
even good and being successful, because the women that I know that are married and have successful marriages are good women who are successful. They're successful moms, they're successful business owners, they're successful in everything that they do. So I'm not going to say that anybody that I'm affiliated with is a low vibrational female. Now that I disagree with.
Okay, and then you're talking about that in the grand scheme of the entire U.S.
Yeah,
right?
But you're
so that's 1% likely.
But you didn't say it was. You just said everyone that has that is married.
Did I not use the words 9 times out of 10?
Yeah, I don't agree with that. And I was married before, and I wasn't low vibrational, so I don't even go into that either. So,
but you're not married right now, right?
Let me get
because I choose not to be married.
Okay. Don't make my.
I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm definitely not gonna make your point valid because
hold on, Mary. Hold on, Mary.
Yo. I don't even know what to say to Q. I can't even acknowledge that 9 out of 10 low vibration. That's crazy. That's crazy shit, Q. I guess my opinion of what a successful woman is simple. It's a woman who's accomplished, who is a high earner, a high salary, and someone who is proactively going about getting her shit done. It's real simple to me.
Yeah, that's Sean. Do you think that's a successful man too?
No.
Kind of, right? Though a little bit.
It is a little bit.
Don't leave. Don't you leave the witness?
Wait, you said that a woman could be she can have like a high income. So if you have a low income, you wouldn't be intimidated by that at all.
I wouldn't be intimidated by nothing walking the planet. So that's not really a question for me. But I'm saying, as a woman, an accomplished, high earning, high salary woman who proactively goes about getting her shit done. That's a successful woman to me. I know there was a lot of nuance
because it don't always involve money
through in there, but to me that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
that's nice.
I want to get Mary's rebuttal to what Q said, but just to answer the question, I hit on some of the points that I think make a successful woman. I think women want offspring. And I think how well her family is kept, how well her family grows, how her house is kept, right? Does she have the acumen to raise a family and to have a husband and to do all those things that are kind of missing nowadays? Are a successful woman? Because if women are chasing the dream of doing what men are doing and they're all doing it now, success can't be that easy to achieve. So I think that women here are the ones that I kind of admire, and the women that Q said are low vibrational, maybe if they want to take care of their husband and their children, I'll take it. What's up, Mary? Don't be quiet now, Negro. You talking?
I done calm down, but it's you be in the moment, you be having it ready, and then it just be like you. But no, just from my own perspective, like me being one that is still married, successfully married, I'm successful, my husband's successful. Like I don't feel like it's only 1%, and I feel like that goes back to who you're around, who your group is, who your circle is, and the people that you have around you. I feel like there's a lot more successful relationships than it, and it just not being noticed as much because the people that are in successful relationships aren't worried about other people knowing. So that's why I feel like it may seem like there's 1%, but there's really not. It's greater than that. But those people aren't worried about what everybody else thinks. So overall, it's just like I don't feel like men are only dating the scums. The good men, they're not just going after the scums.
But I'm not saying necessarily scum, because your vibration doesn't necessarily have to mean that you're automatically like a scum piece of shit. You could be low vibrational and just have absolutely no backbone, no personality, no drive, no real goals, and whatever he says goes.
But that
to them could be submissive.
But not necessarily. I'm very confident in who I am. I'm submissive.
Yeah, but like I said, Mary.
But you're speaking of the population. I'm a part of the population.
All right, so then put yourself in the 1%. If you're speaking of my point,
it's not 1%. That's what I'm saying. It's not 1%. Who you surround yourself around may be the 1%, but there's not 1%.
Hey Q, you just be saying shit to say shit.
No, absolutely not. Y'all think that absolutely the fuck not. I'm the same person Monday through Sunday, my guy.
But
you can still say shit Monday through Sunday too. But you can still do that too.
No, I'm just saying shit you're
higher
not
than
used to
1%.
hearing.
That's just my bottom line of it. It's higher than 1%. There's not just 1%. Everybody thinks all the good shit is just 1%. No, it's just that the people that are successful don't give a fuck about nobody else say. They don't care. They don't care if you see them. They don't care if you know what's going on. No, they don't. People that are really successful in their marriages, people that are successful within themselves, they're not going to give a fuck what anybody
Yeah, but
thinks.
that's what I'm saying. You could be successful in your marriage and one of y'all could be a low vibrational motherfucker. That's what I'm saying.
But what Adrian was stating was the fact that if you feel like all the successful men are going with low vibrational women, who are the successful women marrying?
And yeah, how do you define success?
Yeah, I'm not saying all. Let's be clear. Not in absolutes. Most.
Yeah, you're
again,
saying
this is recorded, so you guys will hear me when you say the shit back, saying the word
So
most.
only 10% of the successful, according to Q statistics and her Census Bureau, only 10% of successful women are marrying into good and healthy relationships, right?
No, she said 1%.
Thank you, Mary.
Sorry.
Somebody
Well, she said 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
Right. That's
that's everybody.
You look at it.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 is everybody.
most
I think success should also be tied to happiness, no, for women.
Absolutely. Happy within yourself.
And you see it, right? And we look at what we look at, right? Your algorithm in your YouTube will show you different things, but these women that are by themselves and these worldly goals and aspirations that people deem successful, they seem unhappy. Right? That's why Kevin Samuel was able to blow, because there were so many people calling in to get some understanding of how to not be by themselves. So, and God bless the dead. So if they're not happy, but they have this money and they have the same success men are achieving, stereotypically, then how do we deem them successful?
Who's determining the success though, the value of success?
Well, because we're defining it as like what you said more so, Sean. I think if we said it to the world would probably say they gotta have some bread to call them successful.
Correct.
Because when we're thinking about the women that are successful, we're probably, if you just think about it right now in your head, you're not thinking about nobody that's broke.
Correct.
So, but then they're alone. I don't think any human being wants to be alone, and then they're not happy and they're dying alone. So then, are we still deeming them successful?
Well, that's what I mean by the definition of it. So, by their terms, an independent, successful woman can die alone and be happy. By their terms. Okay. So how do we right? So how can we define what success looks like? That's why I said all the nuanced adjectives that people threw in there about success, like that don't really mean shit, because if all of those things are true, you wouldn't be independent alone at 75 years old.
Who said alone was a bad thing? Like
I didn't say it was a bad thing, Asia. I'm just saying that if the independent woman believes that she can be alone at that age and still be successful, then I can't determine what success looks like for that.
That's what I'm saying, alone. But what I'm saying is being alone. Alone. Actually, no. I can have wonderful friends that surround me and that that really feed my soul.
Dang, your bed is cold.
I got a vibrator.
No. I'm talking about literally cold. Literally cold. You know when you're trying to save energy and you set the temperature to 65 until you get home?
I have internal light. My internal light and my internal warmth keeps me warm and my bed warm.
Asia, listen to what I'm saying. The bed is cold when you get in that motherfucker. Point blank period. There's not another body there.
Look, nigga, you sitting there acting like this is a fact what you're saying. My bed is not cold. Do you understand? I have an electric.
I'm talking about
there's no human body warmth. I get what you're saying, sir. I respect what you're saying. What you're saying, there is no human being there that keeps my bed warm. And you're right. But guess what? I am fulfilled. I am content. I ain't got nobody's son stressing me out. I'm good. Now, if I need a bed warmer every now and again, I know how to do that. And I'm still successful because that bed warmer and I got that relationship. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want us to define success by being married. I'm not alone. Like, I agree. We are not created to be alone. We are social beings. I got all of y'all. I got friends. I got family. But I don't need a bed warmer. I'm saying, you know, I'm saying a bed warmer like a man in my bed.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, and I wasn't saying you specifically,
I
but
I know you. Trust me, I know you're not. I know you're not. I just want to make sure I'm being very clear in my words. But I appreciate you saying that though, because I wanted to bring that point out as well. Because I kept on hearing about marriage and all that. So no, thank you for bringing that point up.
Right, but remember, the only reason why I brought up marriage was because y'all were saying that men are intimidated by y'all, and then y'all listed y'all reasons, which none of them included financial. So I brought up the women that men are picking, and so are y'all then saying that these women that men are picking don't have these same attributes? And honestly, pretty much it's like y'all do. So now what is the difference? So it's not about success, which every man up here is telling y'all, right? Like it's not about success. And this is where I differ a little bit from what Hamp and what Sean was saying. Cause like Sean even included like his thing with success. That's cool, Hamp. I ain't get one of them dents in a little minute, so I needed that. You might want to put me in the bathroom too before I'm done. But how like but how Sean was talking about like in terms of like success, in terms of like financial and like position wise. But and I used to think that way too. So like I was there now, but like when Hemp was hitting on the thing with family, you know what I'm saying? Like family, a homemaker, structure, to be able to be like the glue, to be able to be the smartest woman in the room and nobody doesn't have to know it, but I'm good with that. And being healed. You know what I'm saying? To understand that, okay, I don't have to respond to you with words. You know what I'm saying? To trust a man enough to know that I don't have to tell you what to do. It's not my job to motivate you. It's not my job to continue to tell you the things that I need. I will tell you one time, and then I will trust that you will figure it out on your own. And if you don't, I will give you that room to figure it out on your own. That's a successful woman who can, and this where I side with you, Asia, when you're like, I don't need a man in my bed. I think women have to also be able to be at a place where you don't need a man, because now when you don't need a man, now you're not settling. Now you're not picking these men that are below the barrel. Now you're not giving yourself to just anybody, because when you can be content with yourself, you block more of who you let in. And so now that you have more control and you can see clearly of who you're letting in, you're not letting trash men in. So the thing I need to be looking at too is, okay, what else are these women bringing to the, what else are these women? I know women get offended too nowadays when they say, what are you bringing to the table? But like, what else? Because these women that men are picking, they do have confidence. You know what I'm saying? They do have confidence. They are very smart. They can make the bag if they need to. But I think a lot of them, I think the main thing is that a lot of them are at least learning or trying to be content like with themselves and learning just to get out of that man's way. Get out of that man's way. So that's it, y'all. That's it.
Word. Interesting, man. Like, share, subscribe. Damn, I got so much. This is amazing, man, for sure. Like, dead ass, man. Listen,
this was fire.
I don't really fuck with Jerry Springer, but I do like one of his constructs. Isha. Let me wait, because Isha be trying to think of what she got to say. Isha, final thought.
My only final thought, happy birthday to my son. He's 14 today, 11/17/08. And justice for Shanquilla Robinson. That's all I got.
Word. Adrian?
That was crazy. What I encourage everybody to try to listen to understand and have grace with one another, right? So we're not always the best at articulating ourselves. While words are important, words mean different things to so many different people. So really try to get the overall message in what somebody is saying and not just tune them out because they say one thing that you don't agree with, but truly try to understand where that person is coming from.
Word. Nay?
I think everyone has their own definition of success, is what success means to you. And yes, to Mary's point, I'ma always stay cheesy whenever Q talk. Holla.
Mary Berry.
I want everybody to stick to their own versions of, success for them at the same time, and just stand on it. Stand on what you feel, what you believe, what you feel like is for you, what's not for you. Just stand on everything you feel about you.
Asia.
From this conversation, I've realized the divide between men and women is not the great of a chasm as we make it to be. And after that, I'm going to say love, peace, and happiness.
Word. Sean.
My black people, go drink some water this week. Go protect y'all peace. Go get better.
Word. You.
You already know what the fuck it is. Shout out to Isha's son. Happy birthday. Motherfucker. Appreciate you. I said what the fuck I said, and I stand on it. I mean it. You feel me? And fucking shout out to Miss Nay. I love you.
Wow. Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Listen, Asia was getting love on the show, so I can get love too. Hell.
Corny. Q.
You had the bodies. You the goat. You the goat.
Yo, Q, I appreciate you. You ain't really put the bottle in camera because they ain't giving us no sponsorship yet. So fuck that.
Yet. Keyword.
Yeah. Word. Listen, man, I think everybody did a wonderful job. I definitely learned a lot. I have to say this, I say it all the time. I'm not with that shit where everybody should be doing what the fuck they want to do. We need to get some order and structure in our culture. And if it's just gonna be tribes, like if we have to pool up us four and you bring four people that you trust and we create a tribe and we have some standards and maybe that'll expand, and we need to do that if we can't get the whole culture. But everybody can't continue to do what they want to do because we good. You know what I mean? The show is the show. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody's super honest. Make no mistake. You know, women are valuable and important. And if you find a woman that can inspire you, you know, take hold of her. You know what I mean? A certain level of authority, but we have to show it and exude it. We make mistakes, you know, but responsible for where we are. Make no mistake about that. We created the tampons that allowed these heifers to go to work and not have to stay home for 3 days out the week. So, you know what I mean? But nah, I mean, you know, without our women, you know, we don't see what we, you know, are seeing, you know. So it held us down for a long time. So we need to appreciate that. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. And we out.